All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Sprague on Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 The Fan and The Fan Sports Network. Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Hello. Good morning, Swag. How we doing?
We're doing fantastic.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great.
Got those Friday vibes.
Got the Friday vibes. We got a company party tonight.
Yeah, we got a big old client party this afternoon. This afternoon.
I guess, yeah, technically it starts in the afternoon, but it goes into the evening.
It'll go, yeah. We'll see how long after the scheduled time it may go.
Were you at the one last year, or did we have one 2 years ago? I can't remember the
No, I
timeline
missed the last one. I think it was 2 years ago. We didn't do one last year.
You're right. It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, and I might have been on my Brotherhood
your initiation. You're getting spanked with a paddle.
No.
One of those deals.
No.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Might have been on the Brotherhood reunion in Austin.
Right. You guys weren't doing any weird stuff in hotel rooms for... All right.
Nah.
Yeah, sure. I was at that one, and it was... radio. It's always fun. I actually saw a ton of our old coworkers at that one. Randomly, we had a ton. Like, our former boss showed up.
Wow.
Now, I didn't get to speak with him, but, a lot of our old coworkers showed up, so I got to catch up with a lot of people.
There you go.
I don't know if that's going to happen today, but we got office party. They've been planning it. We got all this cornhole.
Yeah, I know. They got stuff set up all over the building.
Cooley's gone from being the general manager to, the decorator. He's, situating furniture and... Yeah, that's a do-it-all guy right there.
When you're in charge, you're in charge.
I know, and he's really in charge.
And we found out who's in charge of the Blazers yesterday.
We did. We got to know Tommy D. Look, I wouldn't have actually asked it because in the moment I think they would have viewed it as too immature or stupid. I do want to know if he takes being called Tommy D. Is it dumb to him? Was he called that and he hates it? Or is he kind of like, nah, some of my best friends call me Tommy D.? I'm kind of curious about that. I don't know if we'll ever be able to interview him, but it was nice to get to know that boss. But the Odyssey office party shenanigans,
yes,
we'll all be getting here roughly around 2 p.m. Yes. And then the festivities actually start at 3. And I think Primetime has a different version of their show today because of it, right? Yeah,
they're doing something live to start. And then they're knocking off early so they can go out and shake hands and kiss babies.
And kiss babies, right, yeah. It's going to be really awkward. They're doing their show, and there's just a big-ass group of people right outside the window.
Exactly. There's supposedly a band that's going to play at some point. That ought to make it real interesting to do a show.
Yeah, I'm curious what time they get off with a concert starting in our place. We got a good size office, but you're going to hear that.
Yeah, you're going to hear it because I think the little stage is just right around the corner from our studios. Yeah. I don't know how you wouldn't hear it if it's any sort of, maybe if it's a singer-songwriter just playing a keyboard, maybe it's not. But if it's a band and there's guitars and drums and a bass, yeah.
Well, and I don't know who the band is.
I saw it and couldn't tell you, so I don't know if it's just some local cover band, if it's
I'm sure it's a good band.
Somebody Hamilton found.
Yeah.
That's the next up and coming,
Have him sign the wall. We got Benson Boone's autograph out there, and now look at him. He's a global superstar. Yeah, but we had to be back here by 2, so it's awkward in between.
I know. I might be closer to 2:30.
Oh, really?
I planned all this stuff ahead of time.
There's a turn and burn factor here.
So
I'm hoping for 2:15.
Yeah, I'll try.
2:15 could be perfect. Because I don't think you'll have a lot
Nobody
of early
takes
arrivals.
into consideration our particular time slot ever when they plan things.
I mean, I don't think you should. To be fair, it sucks for us in some ways, but I don't think you should be planning it by what we're doing.
No,
There's
I understand.
only 3 of us
but
here.
If we say, hey, we'll be there before 3, then we shouldn't be getting any flack.
Well, you also have to wonder how many clients are going to be showing up. I mean, are we going to have everybody showing up at 3?
They want us to be here ahead of time so that when the clients start showing up, we're here.
You guys shake the hands.
I get it.
But how many walk in at 3:45?
Exactly.
3:50, 4 o'clock, 3:30. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
That's what we're getting down on here today on a beautiful little Friday. It's a delightful drive-in.
It's supposed to be best weekend of the year.
It might get to 80 Sunday.
I know.
And it might be 77 on Saturday.
We're just hoping it filters over into next week as I went out got the rundown of the new ballpark. out in Hillsboro.
Oh, for the baseball season.
Yeah, we got
start.
we sampled some food. The roster's put together. We got some stuff going on.
Well, I'm stuck of like, I don't know what to do yet because Sunday, my wife is going down to do something in Salem. That's where her parents live. And I thought when she said, "Oh, we're going to Salem Sunday," I was like,
taking the kids?
We're doing an Easter thing.
Oh, okay.
Right, exactly. Same thing. Oh, Easter. That's right, Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Good Friday. Happy Good Friday, everybody.
Yes.
To all those that observe. And so she tells me this, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing, because I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're doing a family Easter event, huh? And she goes, oh, no, I'm volunteering somewhere. Do you want to go? And I was like, because her parents are Catholic. So
yeah,
they're going to observe.
Certainly.
So I'm like, okay, so we're going down early Sunday. But, and she doesn't know this yet, and she's not awake yet. Me and my homie, Jesus, and that's a coincidence with the holiday given.
Yes. Me
and the Jesus are trying to golf.
Okay.
So we're trying to find a tee time. We're trying to go maybe twilight at some point because, maybe you book in like a 2:45, 3 p.m.
Why aren't you talking to our friend who is a member at a golf course?
Because I don't think I'll be down there all day. I think it's going to be like we'll be leaving for home around 11 or noon.
Oh.
So back
you're trying to get a tee time back here.
Well, I'm not going to be in Salem, I think, the whole time. I do want to golf with our friend Terry B over there.
Yes.
Again. His course was delightful.
It was delightful.
He was a very good host.
Wonderful host.
We have listeners at that course, and they were very nice to meet. But I'll be probably more up in this region at around 2 o'clock-ish.
Okay.
So it's actually funny. I didn't think about it till I said it out loud. I'm golfing with Jesus.
No better way to celebrate that holiday.
There is no better way. And he is a kind individual who cares about all people.
I believe. Have I met him?
You met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Yeah.
That's the golf brother.
Nice.
But we're looking to book a tee time. So the weekend should be pretty delightful.
Weekend should be delightful. Got a tee time Saturday morning.
God, there's nothing more exciting than saying you got a tee time.
Got a tee time.
I don't think we have one booked, and that's my biggest fear is we don't have a window now.
Well,
we might have one because of the holiday, but
interesting.
There's a lot of other people that don't observe.
Well, there's a lot of people that get up early to go do the holiday festivities,
or they golf early because they do like an afternoon.
Maybe
dinner,
they
lunch
have
situation.
an afternoon gathering. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. In fact, I'm trying to think about my old family holidays when we did Easter.
Yeah,
like back when my great grandparents were alive. It was far more consistent of like family get-togethers.
Right.
Once they died, it was over.
You're getting up, you're going to church, then you're coming back. We're doing the Easter egg hunt, and then Grandma and Grandpa are coming over, and 2 o'clock we're feasting.
We always went to my great-grandparents' house, and they lived in Vancouver, and so we'd always go over there. We'd do the church, we'd do the ham lunch, early dinner thing, and then we'd usually do the Easter egg stuff. We usually did that at around 1, 2 o'clock. So maybe the twilight rounds will be better for the weekend. I have no idea.
It's always tough to tell. Plus, I mean, this is the first true spring weekend we've had, so you've got that.
Yeah.
And people that have been itching to get out.
Do you have somebody that you routinely golf with the most, like the most consistently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only issue is he's up in Vancouver.
So you always have to think about like in-betweens?
So, yeah.
Yeah. That's always the difficult thing is like where you're going to golf.
Yeah.
Me and him live next to each other.
So now he's got his schedule where sometimes he will have particular days off. He won't, and so he's more willing then to come out here to my side of the world.
Well, there's a little more options over here. I mean, they got some good courses over there. But, you got Camas
But then there's
Meadows
other time. Yeah, we
River
can meet. Sometimes we'll meet halfway. We'll go play Glendevere or Rose City or Heron Lakes.
If the weather permits, I'm thinking about, so next year when we do Fan Madness.
Yeah.
So I had to.
Playing Tri-Mountain?
I ended up bolting out Friday a lot earlier than I wanted to, and that was my mistake because I had told the wife scheduling stuff incorrectly.
Yeah.
So next year I'm thinking, because we might be out there Thursday and Friday.
If that happens, Wednesday afternoon, baby.
Wednesday afternoon?
Out at Tri-Mountain?
Thursday afternoon.
There's games going on.
Well, Thursday. So what would it? But here's what I would do. I'd schedule like an 11 at Tri-Mountain Thursday, watch the games on my phone, golf around, and then check into the casino and make Thursday my really big I'm down at the sports book the entire time, hang and have a good time, and then maybe Bolt's early Friday because staying there Thursday, or I guess it'd be Wednesday, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. It would be Wednesday. So schedule a tee time Wednesday at around 11, bolt out of here, have my bag, golf.
Yeah.
Be ready for Thursday, hang all Thursday in the casino.
Thursday's our day, baby.
Go hard Thursday.
Yeah.
And then do our show Friday, and then maybe watch the first half of the first games and then bolt.
Yeah.
That's probably what the plan's going to be.
Definitely.
But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It should be a good one.
Yep.
We have a lot to get to today.
Yeah.
It's a very busy show. We had a press conference yesterday.
We had a press conference. We had another Blazer win.
Yeah, we have a Blazer win.
Still done defeated.
We are done defeated. It's nice that we didn't blow that game and the trap game didn't play out.
For a half, and I was like, I texted you, trap.
You weren't wrong on that. What was the play? First half, it was probably the Pelicans and the points.
We'll see if they played a little bit of maybe some of the Dundon press conference highlights at halftime to give them some proper motivation because they were much more interested in defense and rebounding in the second half.
Yeah, it seemed like they were kind of sleepwalking in the first half of that game, and then they got their S together in the third quarter, and Tamani was really good
and Drew
in it.
Kind of said, hey, let's go.
Exactly. And now we wake up and we have an 8-seeded Blazers team.
You have a half-game lead on the 8 seed. You got a couple of days now off. You don't play till Monday and Wednesday, but big road trip.
It's a big road trip, and I don't know if Wemby's going to play against Portland because he only has to play 3 of their final 5, and he didn't play last night.
And it didn't matter.
They have the they have
Nuggets
us.
Spurs Monday, Wednesday.
The Spurs have us and the Mavs in their final few games, so I don't know if he'll play in both of those or just one of them. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on that one. But we did get to know Tom Dundon a little bit. Got to know Shil Tile. Got to know Andrew Churn.
Mm-hmm.
He was maybe my favorite of the press conference.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy that does not care about basketball. I mean, that was great when they asked him.
Knew about Yong. We got a Chinese guy.
Yeah, it's big in China. We got a Chinese player. That's great. And then he just leans back. It's like, okay, that's the guy giving money that doesn't care at all about sports. But we will dive into Tom Dundon and go through some of the clips. Give you some thoughts, too. There was one big takeaway for me, and I'm going to tell you what it is when we get to it today. But let's start the show. We'll start in the association. We had some kind of devastating news happen to one Western Conference team, play through the standings a little bit, and the Blazers moved up. So we'll kind of play through the Western Conference standings. We'll start there. Dirt and Sprague, good to be with you on this Good Friday. We start next on 105.1 The Fan. Swag, did you see this? By the way, welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us.
Yes, happy Friday.
The Fan Sports Network, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, and YouTube. Good morning. We are live on YouTube. Fan text lines 503-864-6326. That's how you can reach the old radio program today, as we'll run through the laundry list of things that are happened yesterday, and there is a lot to discuss. This random story, I'd seen this kind of the tail end of the show, and then I saw them send out something after we got off air, so I was hanging around the office a little bit, and Brandman was asking me, what happened here? And so I told him because I saw the video. Now, when you see these videos at sporting events now, I'm very conditioned to just assume none of it's real. Like, that's my instincts. And so...
Yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, so it's April 3rd, 2 days ago on April 1st, the Wizards, the Washington Wizards, who have one of the worst teams I've ever seen exist.
Yeah.
They're trying to have fun. What day is April 1st usually called?
It's April Fool's Day.
April Fool's. So what they do is they bring a fan down to the court to shoot a blindfolded half-court shot. Okay? He shoots the shot. Everybody in the arena, including the on-court staff, starts going nuts after he shoots it. This is for $10,000.
Yeah.
He takes his blindfold off. He starts going crazy. All the mascots are out, the cheerleaders, the dancers, everybody's out. They're celebrating this guy. This guy thinks he has hit a half-court shot for 10 G's blindfolded. Well, he looks up to the Jumbotron, and what happens? They show him the replay, not remotely close. The check doesn't exist. He's not going to get $10,000. He looks stunned, confused. He walks off the court. Happy April Fools. Well, this did not sit well with the hundreds or the tens of Wizards fans that exist out there. And they got upset by this. And they thought they were doing somebody dirty. And there's two things to this. One,
there's a ruse on top of the ruse.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Don't ever believe that these are real random fans. Just assume that's a staff person with the Wizards. And guess what it was? They released it. It was an individual. The entire thing was scripted.
Yeah.
You have this sometimes when they do the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
And they'll have like the proposal rejection or the kiss rejection.
Yeah.
Most of the time, those people are plants. Okay? Just don't believe that anything like that is real. But fans still were upset by this and thought it was wrong of the team, so the Wizards had to send out a statement apologizing that they even did the joke and the bit.
I know.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Why are we sending out apologies for scripted bits on what is known as a jokey day?
I don't know.
And by the way, I would argue should have been real and is still hilarious. I mean, I know people need money right now, but damn, that's a great prank to put on somebody blindfolded, shoot the shot, celebrate it. Oh, it turns out you airballed it. Anybody would understand that, like, oh, okay, I didn't actually hit that shot. The odds of that are infinitely small. Yeah. But the fact that the team sent out an apology to me is so ridiculous and dumb. Wizards, you are already the joke of the league.
Exactly.
Why did you need to do this to add even more to it? It's just, it was so dumb. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was the most fake video I'd ever seen of a fan shooting that shot. Then the fact that they got outraged and then had to apologize and explain, we have set this entire thing up, but we're still sorry we did it. I think speaks to the nature of outrage culture, but also just, what are you doing, Wizards? You don't need to apologize for anything. Not so good news last night from the Wizards to the Lakers.
No.
The red-hot Los Angeles Lakers got to play the Thunder, and everybody was wondering, is this Laker team for real?
No.
No. No, they're not. Stinking it up today, spoiler alert, will be the Los Angeles Lakers. They lost by 40 points. It wasn't close. It never was. And in the fourth quarter, when the Thunder were up 90-58, yes, that score is correct, 90-58,
yeah.
Luka Doncic came up hobbling, left the game, hamstring
tweaked
injury.
The hammy. He's getting an MRI today.
And it didn't look like
same hammy he tweaked earlier in the season.
Dude, it didn't look like a nice and easy hamstring injury.
No, he did not look to be in much comfort.
So now we have to kind of wait on the evaluation of him, but the Lakers, even when they had him, I mean, I think the Lakers are having a nice run.
Seed right now? I know it's tight. Minnesota?
The 6th seed right now is Minnesota, but Denver's only one game back of the Lakers, so the Lakers might fall to Houston and be in the 4-5. Hell, they might end up blowing this lead if Luke is out the rest of the regular season, which I would assume he would be. They might fall down to the 6th seed. They might be going to Denver, Houston, or Minnesota, depending on how it all goes, because that's how the order is. It's Oklahoma City is the 1 seed. The Spurs are still hot on their heels. And by the way, Wemby didn't play last night, and they still went to L.A.
And they housed them.
And they destroyed
Having played
them.
The night before, too.
Didn't matter.
No.
And the Clippers, man, I said it on the show. The Clippers, I think they've been pretty good. I think they've been in the top 10 since January 1st in offense and defensive efficiencies. But the way the Blazers beat them up and then how they looked last night with no Wemby, I don't know about the Clippers. They're sinking like a stone. So you got Oklahoma City 1, you got San Antonio 2, and then this is where it's just going to play musical chairs, I would imagine, the rest of the regular season with about 4 to 5 games left. Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, Wolves.
Yeah.
The Wolves are right there. And by the way, a correction from yesterday's program. You were correct. I was wrong.
Oh.
Mike Conley's playing decent amount of minutes for them. But the
I thought I had seen him in highlights in non-garbage time.
The first game, or maybe it was the first 2 games.
I know he picks his spots.
He didn't play.
Yeah.
He was just on the bench in his uniform, not playing. I'm like, oh, they brought him back for vibes. I hadn't watched a lot of Timberwolves, so my apologies on that one. But Minnesota is 1 game back of Houston. They're about 2.5 back of Denver. And
Minnesota has the most interesting game. The Friday night slate in the NBA is not good.
Tonight's not good?
No. The best game is the Timberwolves at the Sixers.
The tough thing for them is Saturday, everybody's going to be watching the Final Four.
I know.
They're not going to watch the Saturday night prime time.
Now, tradition, I don't know if they're still doing it, but tradition was always – no, they're not because the Blazers play on Monday. Tradition was they never played on the championship game, but apparently that's gone out the window. If you go back –
Well, the championship game is on TBS this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't matter. Tradition was the NBA did not schedule games on the national title game night.
Gotcha.
But I think that's gone by the wayside.
So when you look at the West standings right now, and Phoenix, by the way, Phoenix has lost 2 in a row. They're 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Portland's 8-2. Phoenix is only 2.5 up, and I know there's not that many games left, but the way Phoenix is playing, people are really upset with their coach, Jordan Ott, because he's fallen in love with small ball, and he is refusing to play anybody with real substantial athletic size. And so Suns fans now are really hot and bothered. They got housed yesterday by the Hornets. So Portland's sitting in an 8 seed with still maybe an outside slim shot to catch 7. And then the Clippers fell back yesterday with their loss against the Wemby-less Spurs. And then Curry's going to come back Saturday against the Rockets is what the report says. So the Warriors are not going to catch anybody, but the Warriors may have Steph Curry to play in. So
yeah, they're trying to save him. They want him to try to get out there at least for one regular season game just to, shake the rust off. But yeah, it is not a good night of NBA action. There are 5 games with point spreads 15 and higher.
Do you buy the Spurs no experience playoff stuff, or do you think they're going to be the different outlier team here because
based on what I've seen
alien?
For 3 months, what are they, 27-2 in their last
They've won 11 in a row.
Yeah.
They're the hottest team in the league.
And they're just doing what they do, and they have Wemby. I mean, obviously, if Wemby's out,
but none of the Fox has been there once. Barnes is their most experienced guy.
Their head coach hasn't been there. I don't know.
You don't care about that?
None of that seems to matter right now.
I mean, in the regular season, it doesn't matter. But when you get there, and this
they're going to play. But they're the 2 seed. They're going to play Portland, Phoenix, or the Clippers.
Yeah, and that's going to be a sweep or a 5-gamer.
And so they can get into what, understanding what the playoffs are all about and the experience and the media and all of those, periphery things. And so then by the time they get set to meet the Clippers or the Nuggets or whoever, I think then it's just about how they match up and go play.
Yeah, but I look at Houston. I don't like Houston's chances against them.
No.
But Houston has a little more experience. Minnesota's been to back-to-back conference finals, but I don't know, man. Minnesota's weird.
If they get the Nuggets, then life gets interesting. I mean, Denver's health will play a lot into that. That series intrigues the hell out of me.
I would think that Denver's going to pass the Lakers, who are not going to have Luka. That would be my guess.
So if that's the game, that's the semifinals, 2-3.
Yeah.
And that's must-watch TV.
I think Oklahoma City's just going to breeze their way to the West Finals, no problem.
I think so.
I mean, I think they're ultimately going to win the West again. even if the Spurs end up playing them, and the Spurs have played them really well this year. Because
I think if they don't have Hartenstein back,
there is a playoff thing though, man. Like as good as Wemby is,
that is they owned them in the regular season.
I get it. Yeah, I know, but it's just different. It's hard to put into words. It's just different.
Yeah, I know.
You can be a little more physical. Guess who's going to get, real physical? Wemby. They are,
but I also think the Spurs perimeter guys will get real physical with SGA, and if he's not getting as many
he's going to
whistles,
draw those. I mean, he's getting a lot of ridiculous whistles.
Castle, Fox.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep rhyming there. You had it going there for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and the standings have been spectacular in the West race. We're only 2.5 back of the Suns after that win last night and the Clippers falling, and so, can you get out of the play-in and be the 7th seed, or are you going to end up being the 8th seed and end up taking on Oklahoma City? I think any of those matchups.
I think the 7th seed only, let's see what happens with these 2 road games in Denver and the Spurs.
Well, yeah, we got to see if Wemby's going to play. And Denver, I have a hard time thinking you're going to beat Denver, but Portland has surprised me before, including against the Clippers the other night. And if the Dundon's coming in, it's like, messages, you better be playing
You're
hard.
all playing for your jobs.
Yeah.
Message received.
Well, I text you last night what I thought, because we'll get to the Dundon audio today, but I text you last night legitimately when I think about this roster, and this is part of what I want to talk about today. When you talk about the offseason, and I know we're not there, we're still a little ways away from it, Tamani, Denny, Donovan, Drew, Dame, Young, Veet. I think everything else up in the air. Mm-hmm. Everybody else. So
I think there will be 1 or 2 more of the remaining guys that are still with them. Which those 1 or 2 are, we'll wait. That depends.
No doubt. I'm just saying,
market.
If you said, Brandon, pick the names that you would feel the most confident all back versus guys that you're not sure up
could
in the
get
air.
traded.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the only names that I would come up with.
That's fair.
So, and I think Dundon made that abundantly clear yesterday, and we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. We're back with more at 6:29. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1, The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, after their new owner addressed the media for the first time since taking control of the team, the Trailblazers found inspiration in the second half against the Pelicans, outscoring New Orleans 58-41 for the 118-106 victory. They leapfrogged the Clippers into the 8th spot of the Western Conference with 4 games to play in the regular season. Portland heads to Denver and San Antonio for road games next week. The Portland Fire will have the beginnings of a roster later this afternoon. WNBA expansion draft will commence at 12:30. You can see it on ESPN. Along with the Toronto Tempo, each team will have the ability to select up to 12 players, including 1 unrestricted free agent. The Fire will have the first selection. Women's Final Four gets underway from Phoenix this evening, 4 o'clock. South Carolina taking on Connecticut, followed by Texas and UCLA at 6:30, both games on ESPN. The men's Final Four is tomorrow in Indianapolis. Illinois and UConn is up first at 3:09, followed by Arizona and Michigan at 5:49. Those games will be on TBS. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of the firm.
A quick pause on the hoop stuff real quick. I'll get to the Blazers. They won yesterday. They beat the Pellies. I think yesterday's biggest story, though, was the Dundon stuff, so we'll get into that at the top of the hour. Can anybody explain to me what an agent has on Adam Schefter to get him to post a serious tweet of 5 years, 172 for Kirk Cousins, as if we really believe that's going to be the deal? And I love that he had to add in the tweet, it all boils down to a 1 year, $20 million deal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what are we doing?
I don't know.
I find all
I'm just reporting the facts.
Okay. I find all of that just so stupid. A 5 year 172. He's never going to see 5 years 172.
What is he, 37, 38 right now?
Yeah, I think yes. And by the way, his $10 million guarantee for 2027. Okay, so he's going to make $20 million in 2026. His career earnings of more than $341 million surpassed the $333 for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
A $10 million guarantee.
We need to hire Kirker's agent. That's what I
mean, we need to have like an interview with this person. Who is his agent? Because legitimately, I think when you look up a career of a player and earnings,
hasn't he had the most guaranteed money from his contract of any player in NFL history? Isn't that what I read?
I believe
like as
you
a percent,
are correct.
It's like 98% of his career earnings have been guaranteed.
Look at this. Vegas Raiders, $20 million guaranteed. Falcons, 62, Minnesota, 30, 40, 21, 40, 28, 26. Washington, because they franchise tagged him multiple times like a bunch of idiots, 23.9, 19.9. This is unbelievable.
How do you like me now?
I mean, I love you. I don't think you're an elite quarterback. You never have been. You have one playoff win in your entire career. It's one of the greatest bag-getting it's probably the greatest bag-getting story in sports history. Can we find a better example?
It's up there with Bobby Bonilla. It's different, but
I'd argue Bobby Bonilla, when he played, was a better player than Kirk Cousins, wasn't he? In his respective league?
Yeah. But we celebrate Bobby Bonilla. He's still getting paid.
I think he has one more year
one
of
or
it,
two
right?
more years.
It's almost done finally. It's no longer Bobby Bonilla Day. Look, that's a good one. Bobby Bonilla Day is a good one. But at least he had the foresight to say, actually, deferred.
Sure.
Pay me yearly.
There you go.
Instead of like Kirk Cousins just convincing teams to give him all
of a 401k.
I mean, who needs a 401? That is your 401k, dude.
Is.
Unbelievable. 1 year, $20 million deal, but they frame it as 5 years, 172.
And he's going to play no more than
2 seasons. I could see 2.
He's going to play no more than 8 games unless.
Oh, you mean starting?
Yeah.
I mean,
unless Mendoza gets hurt.
And then he's back. Yeah, he's back on the saddle. But it's just, the $10 million guarantee in 2027. All right.
So that's like if he's just still on the roster.
Now, Tom Brady in the press conference has got to make a joke about this, right?
I would think so.
$20 million. I don't know what they're doing there. Mike McCartney is his agent.
Okay.
Vayner Sports.
Huh.
That dude should have way more clients.
That guy needs to go in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That's a
Where's
good poll
his
question.
gold jacket?
Should Kirk Cousins' agent get more consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame? That's a great poll question. I'm going to put that one up at Dirt and Sprague. I don't really think much of the signing. I just think he's the Jacoby. I said this yesterday, Jacoby Brissett, as we had talked about, because it came out yesterday in roughly the 6 a.m. hour. But I didn't see the financial details till after the show. And so when I saw the 5 year 170, I was like, what? And then it was like, oh, it's really 1 year, $20 million. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, there we go. But Kirk Cousins, an all-time bag getter. So Portland is experiencing new ownership.
Yes.
They're in a playoff race.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about what we saw yesterday coming up in the next segment against the old Pellies, and then we'll get into some Dundon stuff. We got Final Four to talk about. I got audio from all the coaches.
Indeed. Women's Final Four is tonight.
So is the expansion draft.
And the expansion
Shout out
draft
Ladies
is
Hoops.
this afternoon. We will have Portland Fire players on a roster on a list.
We will at least have an idea of the team.
You'll have the startings of a roster, They'll still be able to trade those, and then they'll go right into free agency, and then the college draft is on Monday the 13th.
I put up the bat signal about one coach in this Final Four, and I think yesterday he all but confirmed your deepest fears if you're a fan of this team. So we'll get to some Final Four stuff today. Look, we don't Sprague the line. I will give you some picks, some gambling picks.
Okay.
At around 9:30. So if you want to, put some Sprague line sponsors in.
Am I throwing in our the music? I'll throw the music.
Yeah, let's throw the music in.
We'll get some fake sponsors.
503-864-6326 is where you can throw your Sprague line sponsors in. The Blazers making the 7 seed. I mean, talk about a season. Look, the 7 seed, and you're going to lose in the first round in 4 or 5 games. You stand no chance against that Spurs team. I don't even care how little experience they have. But, man, that's a hell of a thing for Joe Cronin and company to kind of go into the offseason with a new owner and say,
hey, we
look
closed,
what we did.
You came, everybody felt a little inspiration.
Yep.
And this is the start.
Well, I don't know about you. I kind of buy
I would much rather have them play the Spurs than the Thunder because the Spurs are the young team. They are the team that in 3 years, I think everybody is projecting is probably the juggernaut in the Western Conference.
I mean, until they get past the Thunder.
Assuming health and normal development of guys.
Look, it's 2 games. I'm not going to get over my skis.
That's the team the Blazers have to figure out how to put a roster together to beat.
I do. Well, there's more than one team.
I know.
You could be at best 7. So there's 6 other teams better than you right now.
Well, there's that. But if you are looking at the brass ring and the big prize.
Until Ann Edwards is out of Minnesota, I don't think you should be overlooking that. Jokic is going nowhere. He'll just retire in Denver.
He'll just retire at some point and get sick of it.
Houston will eventually move on from KD, and maybe they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma City's going to be in your way for a while, too. So it's
and
not
how
just
much, what are the Lakers going to do with Doncic? And
once LeBron's
leaves, gone, now what are they doing?
They're going to go get a max player. And they might have him, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. Oh, I know. My point is, I do buy the internet buzz of say what you want, 2 games, but the way they beat the Clippers up and their ability to kind of sleepwalk and then come back and beat the Pellies last night, and the Pellies are not good, but there is a bit of a vibe of it does seem like everybody from Tiago being more animated to watching the players' effort. That seems to have rejuvenated something here. Now, I don't know what they're going to do on the road trip. That's a big one. That's a tough one. San Antonio, Denver are no easy teams here. But there is a bit of a good vibes check-in here that I totally buy into, having seen it just even for 2 games.
And
they
haven't had that's what we mentioned going into the Clippers game. They haven't had a game with stakes, actual stakes, in 5 years.
No, it'd been a while.
And they responded to that environment.
They did.
Now we'll see what happens on the road in these 2 games.
It's going to be a big one, but at least they get a couple days rest. There's no update, by the way, on Jeremy. Tiago gave no update on that. And my take is if he does play again, it's going to be in the playoff, not the play-in. Could be wrong on that. And if he is at all nervous at all about that calf and what it leads to, given I wouldn't be so sure he's going to be here next year, I wouldn't be shocked if he just sits out.
And if and when he does come back, he should be coming off the bench. If he gets on hot and he's on a heater and he's scoring, great, leave him in, ride with him.
You want Scoot staying in the starting lineup?
I would rather see Scoot stay in the starting lineup at this point. I think defensively it gives you more versatility and options. And then if Scoot starts throwing it all over the yard, then, okay, come out, I'll put Thibault or Murray or
Well, let's talk a little bit about that last night. The slow starting game, we were texting, and it was like...
Scoot was kind of keeping a minute there for a little bit. He had most of his points early on.
Well, the trap was real to start the game.
Yes.
And what's the play? Well, probably first half Pellies, but the overall game ended up being the Blazers, who jumped to the 8 seed. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll get the Dundon audio coming up at the top of the 7 a.m. hour. We'll talk Final Four as well. And I have leftover audio from the Magic Hat that I want to get to today, because there is somebody in our society that needs to be talked about. And also, kind of exciting in the sport of baseball, we got the youngest player.
That's right. He makes his debut tonight.
He makes his debut tonight, and it's all the buzz in the sport. So a lot to get to. Back with a little Blazer Pelly talk next on 105.1 The Fan. All right, welcome back in. 647. Tom Dundon introduces himself and the ownership group. We'll get to that coming up at the top of the hour. A clear takeaway for me. I'm curious if it was for anybody else out there. I'll tell you what that is coming up at the top of the hour. We'll dive into the Final Four. We have a Final Four this weekend. We'll hear from all the coaches as they're getting ready for their Indianapolis games on Saturday. Did you see last night? I know we'll talk about the game part of it. The Blazers had a bit of a slow start against the old Pellies, but did you see what people noticed about the Moda Center last night?
I did not.
It was all the rage on social media.
Oh.
People noticed for the first time during a game, the apartment light was on.
Oh.
And so you might be asking, Tom Dundon's a Texas-based guy. Where's he going to go after Portland? Who knows? But where is he staying while he's here? And I legitimately wondered this morning on my drive in. I drive right past the Moda Center on 5, and I looked at the Moda, and I went, I wonder if he's in there sleeping right now. And it kind of seems like he might be in there.
There you go.
Sleeping, or he at least is waking up in the old Paul Allen apartment inside the Moda Center.
Now, later on in the game, was that his wife and daughter who I saw?
I believe it looked like his
Or is that
kids.
Sister and, like, was that, I didn't delve into too much about his personal.
2 kids were there.
Okay.
I saw 2 kids at least. That
I saw
him.
a younger-ish girl who looked like she was like 8 or 9.
I think he has an older son that was next to his wife.
Okay.
They were getting autographs before the game with the players.
Gotcha.
And, it was just cool to see him down there.
Yeah.
And a lot of today's show is going to be mostly about the press conference. That was for not almost all of us, a lot of us out there. That was the first time, man. Especially when you go back to 88 when Paul bought it, that's a big deal. But the media, the climate, everything was so different that yesterday, and Lamar Hurd said this in the intro, like, seen a lot of faces I've never seen here before. Yeah, no kidding. And you're not going to see him again. Yeah. I love Lamar Hurd saying, and you guys are welcome to stick around and watch the game tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, 70% of those people ended up leaving and not hanging out for the game. But I would tell you, if I was the owner of the Blazers, if I was Tom Dundon, if I was that person, I'd be in that apartment all the time. And I would kind of be him. I don't know if I would want to be courtside to be seen every single game.
Yeah.
I might just observe from the apartment so I could scream in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Because that kind of stuff would drive me crazy night in, night out as the owner. But they're still undefeated in the Tom era, and they won last night against the Pelicans. They really weren't playing serious basketball in the first half.
No.
They did cut into that deficit in the last couple minutes pretty quickly, and that's when it kind of shifted. They go into the half, they come into the third quarter, and they kind of just take over the game. Had a good third quarter.
Yeah, message was delivered at halftime. If you guys rebound and, communicate on defense, then we'll be fine.
You know what's interesting? I don't know. What do you make of Donovan? Is Donovan dealing with something?
Donovan needs to spend all summer in the weight room working on his core and his trunk.
Because he got into foul trouble, but also his last couple games, they're doing this without him doing much.
No, Lopez was a problem for him. He can get I think there's a disproportionate amount of his bulk and strength above the waist than below.
Mm.
He needs to be able – he can get moved off his spot against other bigs.
Well, Rob Williams is also playing exceptional basketball.
He's playing great.
Tamani's playing really, really good right now. Drew Holiday is on a bit of a heater. And Denny Avdia last night was a problem again, getting to the line, picking his spots, hitting big shots.
Yeah.
So that's really what's carrying him. You think Scoot should stay in the starting lineup if Jeremy comes back?
I do. I think.
But do you think that's realistic of what they're going to do?
I have no clue.
Because I'm not. I'm not convinced.
I have no idea.
Unless Jeremy's like, let me build up, ramp up, get some minutes.
He's been out for a little while. Yeah, there's that. I think initially he'll come back and he'll come off the bench, especially if the Blazers keep winning here. I don't think he's going to mess with the rotation late. Now, if they go on the road, if things don't go well on this little mini road trip, then and Jeremy's ready to come back, maybe he goes back in.
So the chances of them catching the 7 seed, by the way, the Suns are at Chicago on Sunday at noon.
Yeah.
That's a Suns win.
That better be a win.
And then they're back home for Houston and Dallas. Who knows? At the Lakers, probably without Luka. And then OKC might have everything wrapped, but I wouldn't guarantee that they can even beat the reserves of OKC. So it's a long shot to get to the 7 with these games.
But the Blazers have to win at least one of these 2 road games to give themselves a chance.
There's no doubt about it. But the minute they lose to, is it San Antonio first, then Denver?
Denver first, then San Antonio.
The minute if they lose that Denver game, you can kiss that goodbye.
Then they're worried about the 8 seed.
Well,
I mean, the Clippers.
Well, you don't need to be worried because the Clippers are kind of playing funky basketball right now.
I understand.
So I have to kind of wait and see on
Plus,
it. Plus,
you get them one more time.
Last night, I think right now the way that your veterans are playing, like Robert Williams is
Drew,
playing
Rob Williams, and
Tamani Celtics basketball. They're carrying you.
And they're playing both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and I'd actually argue to your point too on Scoot. Like I thought Scoot had a good start to yesterday's game.
He kind of kept them his drive. He was getting to the rim.
I mean, he's 50% from the field.
Yeah. But he was driving. He was kind of breaking down the defense. They were kicking out. They weren't hitting threes early. And in the first quarter, they missed a bunch.
Well, they severely outshot New Orleans in the first half from 3. In the third quarter,
New
Orleans was just getting to the cup and getting whatever they wanted. By the way, they got a couple good players, that New Orleans team.
They have talent. They're certainly. We'll see if Borrego stays and can keep the job, or if they
got no first-round pick.
Go somewhere else.
Because they made one of the dumbest trades you could possibly
make. That wasn't sharp.
The Scoot stuff, it's such a back-and-forth topic for Blazer fans, and it's hard not to have a back-and-forth opinion on it. I don't know if he's long to be a Blazer, but what I would say about this is, like, last night, efficient, fine. I really would like to be seeing these assists and rebound numbers, man. 1 rebound and 3 assists.
Well, I think it's hard for him, especially if he's out there with Holiday and Denny. He just isn't going to have the ball in his hands as much.
I know, but in the minutes he doesn't have it, and even when he is out there with them, like, create. That's just kind of what I want to see. He's on the year 14-2-3.
Yeah, I know.
That's, supposed to be your starting point guard. So
I know.
Fine game last night.
Defensively, I think they can do more things with him out there than Jeremy. They can switch screens. They can trap. They can do more stuff. And again, this is just all for right now.
He's at least shooting 35% from 3 this year.
Yeah, he hasn't been horrible.
He's not been horrific. He's had some stretches where it's been like, streaky. Dude, you're 1 for like 15. What's going on?
He's had a couple of heater nights too.
But yeah, there's a combination here, so it's averaging out to about 35. We'll see. I hope he stays in the starting lineup. I've been on that all year.
I think it's important for him, too, to be out there with the other guys and learn how to be effective when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. I think
it's important for everybody involved. Yeah. I think it's important for the players, the organization, and Scoot to just leave him in there. Let him be on the court with Drew and Denny. Figure that out. Give him some minutes when those guys or one of those guys is on the bench.
And Drew constantly in his ear explaining what's going on, where to go, how to handle these situations. Team makes an adjustment. This is what they're doing. Hey, look, that's fantastic.
Well, they're done defeated in the Tom era. And we got to know Tom Dunn a little bit yesterday and the ownership group.
Yep.
So let's kick off the second hour. Something abundantly clear to me about Tom Dunn and the new ownership group. We'll start with the Dundon Press Conference, Hour 2, Dirt and Sprague 105.1, The Fan.
We all...
105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, Blazers cranked it up in the second half, outscoring the Pelicans 58-41. They get a 118-106 victory over New Orleans. They leapfrog the Clippers into the 8th spot in the West. There are 4 games left in the regular season, the next 2 on the road for Portland, in Denver and San Antonio next week. The WNBA expansion draft set to go today at 12:30 on ESPN. The Portland Fire will have their first players on a roster by the end of the day. They get the first overall pick. They'll go back and forth with the Toronto Tempo. There's 2 rounds. They can take up to 6 players in each round. Men's Final Four action tomorrow in Indianapolis. First up, UConn and Illinois at 3:09 p.m. That'll be followed by 1 seeds Arizona and Michigan at 5:45. Those games are on TBS. PGA Tour's last tune-up before the Masters, the Valero Texas Open, had to finish up the first round early this morning. Alex Smalley and Robert McIntyre, your current leaders, early in the second round at 7 under par. Tony Finau in a group tied one back at 6 under. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 2. A loaded second hour here. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Hello on 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, and YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your Friday commute is going okay, or your Friday hang is going all right. We got a Easter weekend ahead of us, so I know a lot of people are heading out of town or getting ready for the big egg drop here. You got to help those kiddos find those eggs, man. You never know where they're going to be hidden. A lot to get to. By the way, did you ever have like a money egg? Did your parents do money eggs, or did you do Easter at all in your house?
We did Easter. Usually it was regular old Easter eggs, and then
like
there was
hard-boiled?
hard boiled, and then there was like an Easter basket somewhere that had like a chocolate bunny in it. And jelly beans.
I've
and
said
stuff
before,
like that.
chocolate bunny, the most overrated dessert we ever got as a kid.
Yeah.
Because you'd see it have the color eyes, the carrot. You'd be like,
I know.
oh my God, it's going to be the greatest chocolate of my life. And it was always really overrated. You'd eat the ear, maybe a little of the
It's
eye.
hollow. It wasn't solid.
No, it's terrible.
Now there's some places now that, there's some local chocolatiers in the market that will do
you want to go to them.
Dark chocolate bunny.
Give me a little flavor with it,
I saw some
man.
massive one at Costco the other day. It was like a foot tall.
I've seen it too,
like 15 pounds or something.
Yeah, but give me like the Reese's peanut butter egg-shaped ones.
I was always a big fan. I liked Whoppers.
Oh, I like Whoppers.
And so they'd have the eggs that were Whoppers.
Yeah.
I loved those.
Those ones are addicting.
Yeah.
I'm also pretty partial to the Cadbury egg.
I could only eat one of those.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't eat more than one. One is enough. If you're eating more than one Cadbury egg, you got a problem, and you need to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't know.
I actually, as a kid, even could only eat one. I'd be like, all right, I'm full now. That was enough. But a busy weekend ahead for everybody and a lot to get to. We got the Final Four we will discuss. We heard from all the coaches yesterday in Indianapolis. And I think one coach's fan base is going, cool, man, don't even know how to feel about you right now given everything that's ahead. And so we'll talk about that. I think everybody's most excited for Arizona and Michigan. I don't think that's a hot take, but Illinois-UConn is going to be a good basketball
game. Great game. They both should be great.
But we have to start the second hour, Swigard.
Yes, we do.
Tom Dundon press conference.
I was riveted on my couch with my laptop up, taking the live feed. I had tried not to listen, not to formulate too many opinions about others. I just wanted to see him right there in front of a microphone taking questions.
Yeah, he stepped to the mic. I was waiting for like a very traditional opening message.
There wasn't much pomp and circumstance, and I appreciated that.
He kind of just was like, I'm here, and I like business, and I bought a team, and we're going to win. And that was kind of just the nature of it. Yes, 100%.
We got a lot of work to do, and I want to get to it.
So let's do this. Let's start here with Tom Dundon on, hey, I'm the owner now, and we're going to be expecting things to turn around quick.
We spent some time with Joe and Dwayne and the people that work for the Trailblazers, and we're very fortunate. It's a really good group of people. They care. There's nothing I don't think we can accomplish if we just start focusing on a little bit of improvement every day. And I feel like all the pieces are here. There's not something I'm worried about. Now it's just, the only thing I'm kind of worried about is the speed and pace and intensity at which we're about to get going might be a little different. And we just got to get people there quickly.
So a lot of people hung on to the stadium, the lease, the money, all that stuff, and I understand it. That wasn't something I was particularly that interested in because I just think there's a lot of hoops to still go through, and I think ultimately
and he alluded to that. People were trying to get definitive answers, and he's like, I could not officially start really negotiating until I took ownership. We got a lot of work to do.
He also, I loved that he was just point blank asked about the fear of moving, because I don't see the cut here, and he was just like, dude, people said this about me when I went to Carolina to buy the Hurricanes, that I was going to move to Houston. I didn't even think about that. He's not thinking about that. Enough. Can we take a 20-year break here of the fear-mongering, we're going to lose our team stuff? Everybody, media, fans, everybody, can we stop now? It's, I think, abundantly clear that he has no interest in doing that. Another thing that is, I just loved his kind of tone of enough. We've gone 4 years, no playoffs. This is the year that hopefully we take the step to the playoffs. And even though we might be a 7 or 8 seed, we have higher expectations.
I think the main message for us right now is the franchise hasn't had as much success in the past few years as it did historically. And I think our expectation is that's starting to change and will continue to change. So I think the focus that's been the last few years around development, which is now around winning, right? And so we've tried to get this message through the last couple of days that was fun and probably necessary, but it's more fun to win, and it's more fun to do the things that lead to success. And hopefully we'll start creating more habits that those processes lead to the kind of winning that I expect and I think everybody expects.
When you hear him talking about moving fast, obviously he's emphasizing winning in that clip, and he says, we have everything we need here. Is that the group, or are you taking that as like a subtle Joe and everybody, like there is no worry about that, at least for a while? Okay, you're eating breakfast in the middle of a segment instead of waiting for a commercial break. Have you done radio before?
I have, sorry.
Dear God.
You were playing clips.
Well, I know, but look at the all right.
I took that to mean the front office structure internally.
I took that as like a vow of, I know he didn't say it, but I viewed it as like, these guys can do it. I believe in these guys. Yeah. And I think that's good news if you're Joe Cronin. That like, and I've said this before.
He's not gonna rock the boat there right out of the chute.
Nope. I don't think there's any reason to. He's got to deal with all the political and the financial, and I think that's going to take a minute.
And that is more of his focus. And I think he feels like, no, I don't need to gut the front office of this team. I don't need, Dwayne Hankins, obviously, he had said that the question came up about where they at with renovations and getting started, and he
wants to start this summer.
Yeah, some of that's already moving along. We got a lot more work to do to hammer out the details, and so I think Tom's like, okay, I'm going to come in and just give it more momentum to get people to get this thing further along, but he doesn't have to start from scratch.
That part of the press conference I kind of found a little funny because it seemed like Dundon's like, we're getting this done and we're going to start now. Yeah. And then they went to Dwayne Hankins, and Hankins was like, yeah, what he said. Because, like, you're not going to counter what the owner is saying. You got to get on it. You got to get on it now. Tom Dundon was also asked of the differences that he's learned. I think this was a hiking question. The difference between the NHL and what he's learned so far about the NBA in terms of how to approach this as an owner.
So I've been warned a lot that the players it's harder to get through. They make more money. They have a bigger impact on the game. There's less players. You can give the ball to the good ones a lot, and making sure they're all of the same character and effort. And sometimes that's harder in the NBA, I'm told. And so far I haven't seen it. Like I've been very, very happy with the culture of the organization. You've got a bunch of, I assume you all know this that are fans, but the players here work hard, they care, there's no drama. It's really special relative to what my expectations were, because I didn't know other than what I was told, no different, rumors, and you try not to listen to those things, but you can be impacted sometimes. But I don't think it's that much different than a company, than a basketball team, than a hockey team, right? You set expectations, you work hard, you want people with character and care, and I don't think there's going to be any difference between here, there, and anything else I do in life.
Yeah, so he's going to go into it just thinking like, yeah, there's an adjustment, but I'm Tom Dundon, and I win. and we'll figure that out. I would say, like, I love it. I liked a lot of yesterday. I want to hear from people. Did they like yesterday? Did they just go, I expected more? Anybody disappointed by that? I don't know how you would have been disappointed by the press conference. 503-864-6326. The only thing I would say of all the stuff I heard is specifically in that clip, people told you about it and you don't see it here. Buckle up, dude. You got a long journey ahead of you. You will see it in the NBA. Those people advising you on that are not going to be wrong. You will find out. All those players that you think are your friends right now and they're excited you're there, wait till you start contract
Well, we'll wait and see. If the Blazers get into a playoff series and the Thunder or the Spurs hand it to him and he's like, okay, we need more talent.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to press it too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's going to be on people. And he talked about, like, being the guy who has to trade somebody or move on dude, that's never easy.
No.
And I thought that was the most human thing he could have said. Of all the stuff, like, he was asked if he was liked, he was asked this, that.
Yeah, Quick asked him.
Quick's question start was
how
very
important
I just did my taxes. And I was like, where are we going with this?
That was his second round of questions.
Yeah. But it was funny how he started that question. Yeah. What I would say, though, is, like, that was the most human part of, like, dude, this sucks to do. Nobody wants to trade people. Nobody wants to say, we're going to move on from you. I thought that was a very human thing of him to do. Now, here is the scary part, right? And I know Meringue asked a question that got a great answer.
Yeah.
And it made me kind of go, what? Which is leading to me, my whole takeaway from the press conference, was from the Meringue question and the answer we got. That being said, the fear of a new owner for any team in any league is always the shakeup. It's the being scared of what is he going to do with this person and that person, the roster. And when you look at the history of the league, you watch what these new owners do, they're almost certainly going to make a swing. Yeah. They like to get in there and say, I'm going to show everybody that I'm here and this is different, right? You saw that with the Minnesota group, Rudy Gobert.
We saw it when Ishbia took over.
Ishbia with the Suns and the Bradley Beal, like, roll of the dice, and that blew up in his face, but here he is year 2. They're in the play-in.
I think Dundon will be a little more measured.
Well, maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I know one question Blazer fans had going in is, you have this background of being like the guy who changes this. That implies a little bit of a hands-on approach. And he was asked by the AP, are you a hands-on owner? Are you going to delegate? And this was his answer.
I don't know that it's not that cut and dry. You can be involved and delegate. You can be hands-on and also trust people. I don't trust anyone to make decisions without information and getting. Joe and I have had a lot of talk about this, and he actually does it. But there's coaches and there's scouts, there's analytics. There's a lot of people involved with running these businesses, making decisions. I don't expect to be the decision maker because the process creates obvious answers. But I'll push really hard to go through a process that doesn't leave anyone out and doesn't miss any variables.
So my interpretation of that is, like, very involved and informed.
Yeah.
Hands-on, I guess to a certain degree, you could probably say yes in some other senses of other ownership groups.
Right.
But, look, I don't want Woody Johnson telling the coach who he can hire.
I don't think he's going to meddle. I think he wants...
I want somebody who cares, though, and I took that as I care.
But he's like, okay, you guys are the experts.
Yes. I will lean on you and your information.
Give me your expert advice. So if you're in the room and whatever decision has to be made, whether it's a roster thing, whether it's a renovation question about the Moda Center, something else, he gets his dudes in the room. You better be prepared when you go in there and say, because he's going to ask you direct questions.
Yep.
What do you recommend? What do you think we can do? What are our other options? What if it doesn't go? What if you can't do this? It's going to be that, and you better have your stuff buttoned up and make a recommendation. And if you convince him, he'll go with you. And then if it doesn't work or it doesn't turn out, to be that, then look out.
Well, he's going to move the hell on. Yeah. I mean, if your information, he'll trust your information. He'll trust what you're doing. But the minute it stops working, I don't think that dude's going to hesitate.
Nope.
And he will bail, and he will go find somebody who will figure that out. There's a couple other people that were on that press conference. We get to know them a little bit. I thought the character of the press conference was somebody who barely talked. And I want to get into that. And then I'll tell you at the bottom of the hour, my biggest takeaway from yesterday's, and I'm really curious how people viewed this. Are they super excited? Are they still nervous? Does he give you kind of this air of, maybe even if it is a little optimistic to say that, like, you legitimately believe this is going to change because this organization's been in a rut. I don't care how anybody in this market wants to frame it to you. It's a rut. Did you see last night? That was his first game at home. He's the new owner. It's a game where they beat a not-so-good team. They can be the 8 seed if the Clippers lose. Empty seats all over. I think the city has spoken this year. They're still really good in attendance, but they're like middle of the league good. And for the Blazers and their history, that's quite a fall. So I think the fans have kind of spoken to like, and I'll be very curious. But the two individuals we didn't hear from in that segment, we'll meet them on the other side. And then I'll tell you my biggest of takeaways, 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. You can send in your thoughts, your feelings to Tom Dunn and get you fired up. Do you think this is ultimately going to change? Do you believe it's going to happen really quickly? And your overall takeaways. You are welcome to text those in. It's a loaded second hour. We roll on with some more of the Blazers' new ownership press conference next on 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Some good text coming into the fan text line at 503-864-6326. One of them is a jealousy text that I want to – I'll read your text today. I'm going to get to the text. I want to see how everybody's feeling about this, that watched that press conference or saw the clips online, or maybe you watched it live, or you watched it here on The Fan because Isaac Atsuk started the show. set their clocks back quite a bit having to run that press conference, but they ran almost the entire thing. And so I know most of you out there have heard it. I've played a lot of these clips. There is one clip I'm going to hold from old Tommy D, but let's get to know some of the others. We have Shield Tile on this ownership group, Rip City Rising, and he talked about why he is a part of the ownership group with Tom Dundon.
I think folks often ask, why did you do this? And to me, one of the most special things about sport in this country, in this state, in this city, is the power to bring people together. It doesn't actually matter where you come from, how you pray, who you love, etc. All that matters is on game day, is that, in our case, it's all about the Portland Trail Blazers. And that is something we feel passionately about in this ownership group, and is something that we think we need right now in this country, in this world.
The one thing that I always thought was a little odd, I think, as a media member, seeing other media members, was the idea of like the doom and gloom. They're going to move, they're going to leave, right? And look, you get an owner from Texas who owns a team in Carolina, and you got uncertainty in our politics here locally, and the money situation is bad. I get all of that aspects of it. The one thing I thought was odd was the fact that we knew there was a Portland-based individual being a huge part of this ownership group, as if like that didn't matter. Just ignoring the fact that Shield Tile lives here, that his wife is running the OHA. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a really bizarre thing for the media to just overlook, and Shield Tile talked about loving living in the city of Portland.
Second thing I want to talk about is Portland. Portland is my home. Our daughter, Sia, who will be here today, she's taking her second nap right now, so actually we'll see if she makes it, was born at OHSU, not too far away. And this place, I know Tom might not think so, but I think has the best food in the country, and is just an incredible place to live. We called our ownership group Rip City Rising for a very specific reason. We could have called it other things. Could have called it Rip City Stabilizing. We could have called it Rip City Reminiscing. We called it Rip City Rising, and that was a unanimous decision all of us made. And it was because we believe Portland was a world-class city, and it can again be a world-class city, and then potentially ascend beyond that. We think the Blazers can and should play a small role in that, and we're really excited to do that with all of your guys' help.
And, however you feel about those comments, like I actually think that resonates with a lot of people, because we know the city needs a lot of work and they're in a really tough spot right now. Some of this is no doubt, man. Like, sports can be a little, I guess, over talked about in some ways, but I think he's right of like, when this team is rolling, it just makes everybody in the city feel a little different. Now, we have a lot of political navigating to get through here. Yeah. There is no doubt about that. But I just love that Shield Tile was basically telling you, I live here. I love it here.
I think we're going to see him be the public face of the ownership group eventually.
Oh, he's going to be at most
He'll
of the games.
Be all over the place.
You know who won't be at any of the games, and I don't think we're ever going to hear from him again as long as he's a part of the ownership group. Andrew Churn, who was the star of the press conference, if you were watching it in the right perspective.
I got things to do.
So, my jet leaves. Can you wrap this up? So, Andrew Churn is based down in L.A. He is the Panda Express CEO. And he was asked how he got involved, and I just loved the demeanor. He had the folded arms with the hoodie on. Like, he just could not care less.
More the disapproving father.
And here's Andrew Churn asked, how did you get involved with Tom Dundon?
I'm a fan, and actually, I was not thinking of this way because I don't live here, right? So, and as a Chinese, I love the fact we have a prospect in Hansen Young, so it got me thinking. And Tom is a winner, and he's done a wonderful job with his previous team. So, we have a winning combination here. And then NBA is a popular sports in China.
Ching.
Well, Yang ain't getting moved anytime soon.
Supermax, Yang Hansen, line one. Better learn Portland, buddy. You're going to be here a long time. That's why I put him on the list. It wasn't just that I think they're going to trade him. It's just like, dude, this guy might be here legitimately 8 seasons if Andrew Churng is going to continue to be part of the ownership group, which I have no reason to bleeve he won't be. Also, I was thinking about this because Dundon was asked, I think, by Willamette Weekly, if I have that right, about his past experience with the Hurricanes and the district and building it up around.
Yeah.
I did love how coy he was. Oh, I really looked into it, but it's a hobby of mine, and, I'll dive into that. It's like, dude, come on. You're going to want to build that district.
He'll get to it. I just think
I don't think it's something he hasn't thought
He knows it's not something he hasn't.
That entire area needs a massive facelift.
But I know the first thing he's got to do is figure out how to get more wins out of the roster and put butts in seats, and then get the arena itself to the state that they want it.
I will tell you my biggest takeaway and how it is kind of involving what you're talking about there. I think there's a way where that is a priority, but he is also going to be just as zeroed in on the other stuff, right? You need to get the funding, the renovation for the stadium. Yeah. He admired the stadium. He just said it's dated. There's no doubt. Yeah. And if you've been to other venues, you can see where it's and how it's dated.
No, the bones of the arena are great.
They're great. But the district, I think, is going to be a priority because it's a way to make more money. Exactly. I'm going from thinking we're going to have Panda Express inside on the concourse, and we very well could.
Oh, you think there's going to be something right outside?
Yeah. I'd be shocked if there wasn't.
Yeah.
When you build up the district and bring this area back, or at least make it relevant for the first time in everybody's lives, I would imagine there's going to be one. I loved him. That is just a guy that's like, I want to make money.
Yeah.
We have a Chinese player. I'm Chinese. Yeah. Here we go. We're
NBA's
all in.
Big in China.
Big in China. Do, re, mi, coming my way. Cha-ching.
Let's go.
Now, let me ask you this before I tell you what my biggest takeaway of the press conference is. Will we see Andrew Churng again?
Yes.
When and why?
That's a good question.
The ribbon cutting at a Panda on the concourse?
So either that or...
our promotion needs to be a small to-go box of Panda Express for free. I've been on the McDonald's thing.
At a walk serving up orange chicken.
Well, we don't need to do that. Actually, I'd rather have him down being a good basketball player.
In good time.
That will happen next year. But we need to get Panda Express certificates here.
Oh, yeah.
And how much longer until this becomes the Panda Express Center?
I don't know.
Do you think that's around the corner? I just wonder how much of this stuff they're going to give themselves versus seek out getting
I don't
the
think
most.
so. I think Tom Dundon wants all the revenue streams.
All the money.
So unless there's a separate deal with Panda Express and they're, but I think he wants to tap into every single revenue stream.
Oh, there's no doubt
possible.
About it. Yes.
So doing an inside deal doesn't really help.
They made this abundantly clear yesterday. This is about business.
Yeah.
And part of the business for Dundon is winning. And I'll tell you what the biggest takeaway that I had, and it's a reason for optimism and something we haven't had happen that I'm fully convinced is right around the corner. And I'll tell you what that is coming up next. You can chime in with your thoughts of the Dundon press conference at 503-864-6326. We'll read some thoughts at the fan text line just around the corner as well. My biggest takeaway from the Dundon press conference and why you should feel good about it next on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, the new owner addressing the media for the first time since taking control of the Trailblazers, and then the team found inspiration in the second half against the Pellies, outscoring New Orleans 58-41 for the 118-106 victory. That helps them get into the 8th spot in the Western Conference with the Clippers' loss to the Spurs. There are 4 games left in the regular season for Portland. The next 2 are on the road at the Nuggets and the Spurs next week. The Portland Fire will have the beginnings of a roster later today. The WNBA expansion draft will commence at 12:30 on ESPN. Along with the Toronto Tempo, each team will be able to select up to 12 players, including 1 unrestricted free agent. The Fire will have the first selection. Women's Final Four gets underway tonight from Phoenix. 4 o'clock tip, South Carolina taking on Connecticut. That'll be followed by Texas and UCLA at 6:30. Both of those games on ESPN. Round 2 of the Valero Texas Open last stop on the PGA Tour before the Masters. Alex Smalley, Robert McIntyre have ascended to the top of the leaderboard, 9 under par. They are 2 shots clear of Ludwig Oberg. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt.
Talking some Tom Dundon. The press conference was yesterday. Your thoughts are welcome of Dundon's press conference. Are you doom and gloom? Are you still weary that the Blazers will move cities? You worried about the renovations, the money, all of that? Did you feel encouraged? What were your overall takeaways from the Tom Dundon press conference? You can chime in at the fan text line at 503-864-6326. We'll talk about the Final Four today as well. We got that this week, and I'm pretty excited about that. Got the ladies' Final Four. It's going to be a good ladies' Final Four. You want to watch some good basketball? These are the best 4 teams in college.
On in the building on the 80s. We keep pulling TVs out of nowhere. Like every time I look up, there's 2 more TVs on a wall in this building.
Yeah, the TV situation's interesting here now. We have them on different walls and different spots. But, so we got some basketball ahead of us this weekend that's pretty big. But Tom Dundon press conference yesterday. So a lot was said. We got to know Tom Dundon a little bit. We had only seen quotes, and we had like kind of takeaways of that it seems a little red-assy. Look, I took away, my biggest takeaway of all of it isn't money. It's not arena stuff. That stuff has to be sorted out. There's just no other way around it. My biggest takeaway is this, and I want to play this clip for you because this has been stuck in my brain for almost 24 hours. Tom Dundon, and this was old Orangutan asking the question of, like, how do you change, You talk about wanting to win and move fast. How do you do that? And here was Tom Dundon's response.
It's really difficult in these situations to have an actual plan. I think our plan is to work hard, make good decisions, and Joe had a deal that he looked at the trade deadline that I was aware of that would have been what you described as a big splash. And if that opportunity exists, I'm probably more aggressive than most.
And so that was not all of the clip that I thought was going to play. He also alluded to having a trade that Joe presented him, and he basically was like, oh, okay. And then Joe didn't make it. This is my biggest takeaway, and I'm going to end up probably looking like a fool because here I am being a Portlander, believing everything great. I think we're getting a massive trade this summer. I think that is abundantly clear, and that's not even, I think, the hottest of takes. This dude wants to win. You're not bringing this roster back as is and winning next year. That's just not happening. If Joe Cronin had a deal and Tom Dundon knew about it,
right,
and seemed to say, if I was owner, we would have done it, I'm led to believe one thing. Yeah, they're going to make a huge swing this summer. I don't know who that is. You can fill in the blank if you want.
And it takes two to tango.
It does take two to tango. You can say it's Harden, whoever you think that was at the deadline. Nobody's reported it, so who knows? But he said it was a big trade. It is abundantly clear that is happening. Now, you may not believe in Joe Cronin as a general manager. The track record is 4 years, no playoffs. I kind of understand why some people wouldn't. But his answer also reveals something to me that is a little alarming. I thought his tone in general was he thanked Jody and the Vulcans for all their years of ownership and stewardship. He also, I thought, kind of in a roundabout way, said, you guys have kind of not cared for a while.
Exactly.
And I don't think he said that directly, but it was pretty obvious, the tone in which he talked about the organization when he stepped in.
Caught my ear, and I was like, so, and then my initial question was, there was two, okay, so did the other team not
So here is my follow-up on this.
Or did somebody else nix it?
It makes zero sense. I'm being serious here. You're going to have to explain. Why would it make sense for them to have a trade in place?
Right.
Knowing he's going to own the team in 2 months from that point.
Yeah, not do it.
And not do it. Especially if he reached out and said, hey, look at this trade. And he's like, I love it. I would do that. It makes no sense. So I'm almost wondering if he kind of just misspoke a little bit of like, hey, here's the framework of a trade that the team might be interested in versus this is the trade I can do.
Is it on the table or this is what we're going to go propose and yeah.
And I know that Jody's had a lot of defense of like, well, she's not gotten in the way and she's not said no and she's okayed this and okayed that. And I know I did the spiel on the broadcast and I'm worried about losing radio and media have brought that up. And I'm like, this last ownership group also came in and fired Mike Barrett and Mike Rice.
Yeah.
How'd that sit with people? They also made a broadcasting change. They got a Seattle-based guy to be our lead broadcaster, okay? So the last group wasn't afraid of making changes you may not agree with. This dude certainly is going to. He wants to win. He wants to win now. I am fully convinced they are making a massive move this summer, whatever that be, whoever that be. And we're going to have to wait to see all the details of it, but I think it's absolutely happening. And I think he made that abundantly clear with his tone about the trade deadline and whatever it was, the framework of a trade or a trade that was sitting there, because it doesn't make any sense you'd have a trade knowing the new owner would sign off on it and not make it. Why would the Vulcans even say no to allowing that to happen? So I tend to think it's the framework and not so much this trade, because why wouldn't you just make it then? If the new guy is okay with it and he's all in, now you got to revisit in the summer if it is indeed a Giannis, if that is indeed who it was. We'll see if they revisit in the summer. That was the first name
that popped into my head.
There's only two names at the deadline that are massive. It was Giannis and James Harden. And the James Harden one kind of surprised people. But around L.A., there was reporting that it might happen. The Giannis one was the most obvious.
Right.
And he didn't get moved.
And was that because Milwaukee balked at the last minute and wouldn't do it, or did somebody internally not do it?
I don't know. He kind of let a cat out of a bag with this answer because he was like, we'll have to revisit it in the summer. Who is going to probably be revisited about moving in the summer?
Giannis.
That'd be Giannis. So I don't know if it's a Giannis, but I do think a massive trade's going to happen. And, oh, by the way, what would a massive trade tell you, Swag, about their thoughts on the current team?
Well, depending on how much of it gets shipped out, it needs to be upgraded.
If you're making a massive trade, thank you. Exactly my point of you're in purgatory.
He was asked about roster building. And
yeah, he was.
This is just a little snippet. I don't know if this is all of it, but yeah.
Joe and I have talked about this a lot. There's no one way this is going to go for sure. If we get a star, we have a chance to win. If we can't find a star, then we got to add some pieces and hope some things develop. And if that doesn't work, then we got to try again with a new plan. And I think there's equal chances for all those things to happen.
So look, I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody here. This is just all opinion for me. I'm almost wondering, is there a little bit of like, Joe had to trade Dame because it got to that point, and that's kind of self-inflicted. Made the Denny trade. The Denny trade in the moment was a little bit of like, whoa, you're giving up a lot for Denny Avdia. Not really a massive trade by any stretch. No. And now Denny has become an all-NBA caliber player, an all-star at the minimum, right? When you talk about big, huge swinging trades, they're going to trade the third pick for Zion Williamson, like Jaylen Brown, right? Revisit that narrative. That is a massive trade. That is a big swing. I'm almost wondering how much of this was hands tied behind the back a little bit. And I'm not saying Cronin is not at blame or fault.
Right.
But I am wondering if we go into the summer and then he makes a massive swing, I'm going to look back at the last ownership group and go, what was going on there? Were you guys just cool being whatever and then just cashing checks and waiting until you sold the team? And so Dundon gets it day one. You need a star to win. There's no doubt about that in this league. And
that's the quickest way to get things toward where you want to go.
The easiest takeaway from yesterday should be for everybody. They are making a huge move this summer because this is not good enough for Tom Dundon and the ownership group. Abundantly clear.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway from all of the stuff that was talked about.
I expect there to be plenty of activity, whether they can do it in one trade or they got to make a few moves.
I don't care how you get there. Just get there.
Or there's moves and they end up with a top 3 pick. You're
not getting a top 3 pick.
I don't think they are.
Those teams, whoever those 3 teams are not trading out of that. Name anybody on the roster. You want Denny? I don't care. We're taking the pick. Those teams are not trading out of that pick. Top 4, you're not even going to move up to top 5, I think. I think all of those teams, unless there's a back-end lottery team that somehow hits it, that kind of needs to win now versus like the slow build, you ain't getting in the top 5 of this draft. This draft's too good, and next year's draft sucks. So I think all those bad teams are going to say, yeah, thanks. We don't need Denny Avdia, Donovan Kling, and Scoot.
Well, and especially if they end up in the playoffs and don't have a first.
No doubt about it. So I'm pretty excited about it. I thought his tone was good. I thought he was authentic. Shield Tiles tie-in makes me feel pretty good about it. There's a long way to go with stadium stuff. But overall, my biggest takeaway is Tom Dundon is going to be signing off on what I think is going to be a huge trade this summer for the Trailblazers. What was your takeaway? Did you feel that? Are you still nervous? 503-864-6326. We'll read some thoughts on Tom Dundon's press conference from you guys out there. And then at the top of the hour, we'll dive a little bit into the Final Four. We're back with more on 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up.
Woo! Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomeservices.com.
Here's Isaiah Joe from the top in red hot second half and continues to open the fourth quarter with his 6th three-pointer of the night. He was 5 for 5 in the third quarter, 4 of 4 for 3, up to 20 points off the bench. 115-70, Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that was a real score Mark Kestecher just gave you on ESPN Radio. The final was 139-96. Are the Lakers contenders?
No.
I would tend to believe no, maybe at best second round, but now we don't know because Luka Doncic hurt his hamstring last night.
Not a good night.
Not a good night for the Lakers. Who's Stinking It Up is brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. The Lakers are stinking it up. Now through the end of April at Three Mountains Home Services, install a tankless water heater, and they'll include a free water softener. Enjoy warmer showers and say goodbye to hard water. Call or visit threemountainshomeservices.com and schedule your appointment today.
The Firm.
All right, we'll get to the Final Four coming up in the third hour of the radio program. I've got an individual in a different state that needs to be... We need to maybe tar feather. We need to go back. We need to go old school a little bit with some of these people. And he became quite the jackass on the internet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this was a magic hat leftover of audio that I want to get to coming up. But we've talked a lot about the Tom Dundon press conference. Actually, the whole second hour has been Tom Dundon. Also, side note that we may get into in the 9 a.m. hour may get a little squirrely.
It's Friday at 9 a.m. We're going to have, I don't know how productive the office is going to be. We got a client party today. Yeah.
What is the most overrated Easter candy?
Jelly beans.
What is the best Easter candy? We can get into that on the fan text line, but let me read some thoughts. I got to go through these. Some of these texts come in, and they get broken up. Somebody's calling me Charlie Brown. I'm just waiting for Lucy to put the football down so I can go kick it. She could lift the ball again, and then we're going to roll it out and be like, well, it's the same team as last year, except now we got Dame. And I'll be like, damn it. Look, I haven't always done this.
No.
I think I've been off the idea that they're going to make a big move.
You have very much been, because Dirt's been the one that got to make a move, they got to make a move, they got to move, they got to move, and you're like, not their history.
It's not. And look, the thing that did it for me was, I'll never forget, I did the draft with Danny, and we went out, I forget where we went, but Isaac and Suk were out there.
I think we were at Bricks.
No, it wasn't Bricks. It was the rooftop draft.
Oh.
It was the Wemby Scoot draft.
Okay.
And I remember going into that thinking...
Oh, we were at Bricks for the draft lottery.
Yes.
Yes.
But the draft itself, we were on a rooftop place.
10 Barrel?
No. It was on the east side, actually.
Oh.
Anyways,
okay.
I remember going into that draft thinking they might actually trade it for Jaylen Brown or Zion, which that was a big debate in the moment. And they took Scoot, and then 23 came, and they kept that too, and they drafted a guy who can't shoot the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Murray has one ability, offensive rebounding, and that's kind of it. I don't think he's that great of a defender. He can help. He's good on help side defense.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great one-on-one. So let's read a couple thoughts here. Okay. Who do the Blazers have on the roster that's really worth a mega trade? Even exactly, nobody's going to give us a top 5 pick for anybody on the roster. To which I would say, when I say a mega trade, I mean, you're not maybe talking about the best player in the league here, but the pick stuff matters when you're talking about big trades. Okay? You've got Scoot for some team out there, if they're in a position of selling off, could view Scoot as like, oh, the number 3 pick that didn't pan out, that might pan out for us because our roster is different and his minutes will be increased. You've got all the Milwaukee stuff, okay? You got your own picks involved. You go through it. Shaden? Shaden?
Yeah.
I tend to think they're not going to want to trade Tamani, but it depends the caliber of player here. They're not without anything. And it's not to say they have the best possible trade package of all the teams. I'm just telling you, I think they're going to make a huge shakeup. And what they have, maybe it's not better than San Antonio. It certainly is not going to be better than the 95 first-round picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have and the 95 players it feels like they have roster-wise. But it is not nothing. And to dismiss the idea that Portland could be involved, I think would be a mistake.
And I haven't done enough research to see which teams are flirting with going over the second apron and the potential. Those are the teams that you go look at. How many high-priced, top-level talent contracts are there? And what's the ownership group situation? Are they in a crunch? It's like, we're going to have a massive luxury tax bill. Can we justify it? Are we that close to really contending? Or do I need to move something because we can't financially do all this if we're not feel like we're going to finish in the top 3 in our conference?
Somebody says Dundon reminds me of NHL hockey players, which is pretty fitting considering where he's coming from. No nonsense, personal accountability, hard work, respectful, humble. That's my take. The NBA would be a better product, and hopefully the Blazers can get their culture to match that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thing, is he just stepped to the podium. Like, I was really waiting for the generic, good morning, good afternoon, happy to be here. He just was like,
no.
I own the team.
We got a lot of work to do.
We got work to do.
I want to get right to it. I want to go as fast as I can because the getting there part is hard to stomach sometimes.
I thought it was really cool of him, too, to have that moment of like, dude, I know how lucky I am to do this. Like, to be an ability where you never thought you'd be an owner, and look at you now. You own 2 sports franchises.
And he doesn't want to waste it.
No, he does not want to waste it. Somebody says, I took it as Tom saying on the trade part that they'd be aggressive and not that Cronin refused to trade. Also took it as him saying the trade has to make sense and not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Yeah, I'm not suggesting Joe didn't. He just overall refused. I'm just kind of curious when you say something like that. Can you revisit that trade, whatever the framework of it is, in the summer? And I'm getting a lot of like, oh, we've heard this before. I'm telling you guys, I'm not always the next deadline. Some people do that. They tell you that every year. The next one. When you talk about winning and winning quickly, the way he did and turning this around.
The quickest way to do it is.
It's not coming back next year with just Dame and saying this is good.
Making a big deal.
They're going to be in the same spot next year, if not maybe worse, because some other teams might load up and get better than you. So I know. I understand that I look like Charlie Brown right now, and all of you are Lucy holding the football, and you're waiting for the summer. You're going to wait for September, and you're going to go, hey, Sprague, look what we got here. And you're going to lift the football, and I'm going to go to kick it, and I'm going to fall right on my ass. I understand that that's what's looming here with my take, but I have no other reason to believe that something won't be happening that's going to shake it up. Now, is that going to be Giannis? Is that going to be, I don't know, Bam, Adebayo? I don't know. But I do think it's going to be a big trade. And I think that's the fastest way to win.
Also, Dundon's not fixated on it has to be this one player or nothing.
No, he's
if you've
not
got
at all
anything, he's like what are all of our options? How do we make this team better? Okay, is that guy available? What does the trade look like? What do we have to give up? How does the roster play out?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, head coach, whoever, how does that adjust how you need to play? What does it look like?
Yep.
That's the meeting with Dundon. It's like, okay, option A, option B, option C, option D. How does it all play out? How does it change? Which option, if we get to pick, do you think makes us the best version of ourselves and gives us the best opportunity to be contenders right away?
Somebody says they're worried that Bert and Jody are still involved. I wouldn't be.
No, he's making the decisions. He's the governor.
He is not going to listen
to
Jody.
Now, Bert might be around to introduce him to people and do that, but no, Tom's in charge.
Yeah, somebody asking, is anyone on the roster untouchable? I mean, in my opinion, no.
Well, I think Dame's untouchable, but that's for contract reasons and other reasons, not playing reasons.
Dame's the emotional untouchable.
Right. And I think if they broached moving, he would retire.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But no, I don't think this roster is full of untouchables. I wouldn't suggest that. It just depends what the deal is, man.
Yeah.
And this dude wants to win, and he wants to win now. So I totally get the skepticism of people out there and not buying into, oh my God, we're gonna be. I don't even know if we're gonna be in title Western Conference contention. I'm not suggesting that.
No.
But the guy does win. He does have a little bit of a track record, and he came in yesterday, no nonsense. He ain't trying to be your friend. He was asked if he was liked, for God's sakes, and he was like,
He said it's
what
lower.
Did he say?
We've got it.
No, I don't want to play. It's too long, but he basically was like, I care more about
not as high on the priority list.
What did he say? I care more about my moral character than my reputation or something? Like, he basically was like, it's not a high priority.
No. I mean,
you don't need him to be
He's
your
not
friend.
Intentionally trying to, piss people off.
You're going to largely not see him. You might see him in the next couple of weeks because of all the stadium
and he said
stuff,
that. He said, I'll be around more just because there's so much I need to take in for myself and information and people I need to get introduced to and that sort of thing. But he said once he makes the changes in the mechanisms for the process that he wants to see, then he will get out of the way, let all those people that he's chosen to do X go do X, and then report back to him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think I left with a lot of optimism yesterday.
That was what I got.
I have felt so down about this whole situation, and I know some Blazer fans have been upset, and Dirk takes it extremely,
he is one that's far more action over words. I'll sit up here and he understands I'm the new owner. People need to hear it from me, directly from me.
It's his priority, man. He owns the Hurricanes and the Blazers. You know,
He's probably going to be busy in May and June because the Hurricanes might.
They're the
win
number
a cup.
1 seed, man. Yeah, they might be in a cup.
They clinched their playoff spot yesterday.
Imagine that guy coming over after winning a Stanley Cup, going into the NBA offseason.
Yeah.
You don't think he's going to go, all right, I did it over there.
Yeah.
That felt great. What are we doing over here? Got to get the arena stuff figured out. Got to get the lease, all that. But a clear set to me with Tom Dundon as the owner is it's time to win, and it's time to give a damn.
And let's get the ice machine, and let's get a Hurricanes-Kraken preseason game in the building, and let's do some other stuff.
You think we're going to have a Hurricanes-Kraken preseason game?
Why wouldn't you?
Smart idea. Have we ever done an NHL preseason game?
Yeah, the Kings and the Canucks played here.
So the arena's built in 95. What year was it? Do you remember?
It was a long time. It was shortly after that. But, yeah, there's been an NHL preseason game
Kraken
here.
Hurricanes game out here because he's the owner and the Kraken are close. I'm all in on that. I'd go to that. So there we go. Some Tom Dundon good thoughts coming in at the fan text line still, 503-864-6326. We have a loaded third hour. The Final Four is this weekend. We'll pause from the Dundon stuff. The Final Four this weekend. And I continue to drum this up. What a weird weekend for this team and this fan base. Loaded third hour, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers looking to close the regular season strong. They have a big second half against New Orleans for a 118-106 victory. They leapfrog the Clippers, move into the 8th spot in the West. 4 games to go until the play-in. Portland will go to Denver and San Antonio for road games next week. The Portland Fire will have a roster, or at least the beginnings of a roster, later today as the WNBA will hold its expansion draft at 12:30 on ESPN along with the Toronto Tempo. Each team able to select up to 12 players off of other rosters. Women's Final Four is set to go in Phoenix tonight. 4 o'clock tip between South Carolina and Connecticut, followed by Texas and UCLA at 6:30. Both those games on ESPN. The men's Final Four is tomorrow in Indianapolis. Illinois and UConn up first at 3:09 p.m., followed by Arizona and Michigan at 5:49. Both those games on TBS. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the fan.
Hey, welcome back in the third hour of the old radio program. A beautiful little Friday. How you doing? Good morning, YouTube. Hello on the Odyssey app. Maybe old school 1080 AM radio. Or 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. That's what we call it here. It's a good little Friday, pun intended there. We got an Easter weekend ahead. What is the most overrated Easter candy, and what's the best Easter candy? I don't know if it's even close. The Reese's peanut butter egg shape one is probably the winner. And everybody else is playing for second.
See, I don't like peanut butter.
Well, you have bad taste.
No.
I hate to tell you that, but you got awful taste.
I am the dark chocolate solid bunny. Give me great dark chocolate in a solid bunny.
You just want a 9-inch dark chocolate object? That's all you want? Look, to each their own, dude. Give me that egg-shaped peanut butter cup. I'm in, and you're wrong, and I'm sorry. But we can talk about that. We have an individual that we'll talk about today. He's been put on blast on the internet, and I can't believe he's still employed, so we'll get to that today. We got the Final Four to talk about. The fan text line is 503-864-6326. That's where you can reach us.
Seems like it's been measured this morning. I thought it might be a little spicier. Or
maybe Why would it be spicy?
I don't know.
What would there be spicy about?
I mean... Yeah, Blazer fans can get spicy for no reason.
They can get spicy, there's no doubt. And I understand the people that are skeptical of the idea of a massive trade. But, when a guy comes in with a winning pedigree and is kind of in a roundabout way saying this has been awful for 4 years, enough of it, I just tend to kind of want to lean the optimistic side. What do I have to lose? What's the worst case scenario that happens for me here? We come back September. Hey, the Blazers have camp. They didn't make any moves. Sprague's an idiot.
Yeah.
I already am.
No, I know.
That will not be breaking news.
No.
I've been wrong a million times. I'll be wrong a million more times.
That's right.
But I am fully convinced this is it. I'm going to go all in. This is it. Tommy D is going to make the moves. Let's pause from the Blazers.
Okay.
Really good thoughts. I love reading the thoughts. I love Blazer fans out there. And let's get to the Final Four. You excited?
I'm very excited.
Were you more excited last year or for this year?
This year.
Why? We had Cooper Flagg last year.
I know.
Houston was pretty good. Florida.
I think we're going to get two great games. I mean, last year's games weren't awful, but I think we might get.
Do you not remember the Duke Houston game?
Huh?
The Duke Houston game.
Yeah.
The big comeback.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
If we get one of those games this weekend, we're going to be happy.
I think we might get two nail-biters both ways.
Oh, okay.
I would be really surprised if either of these are snoozers.
Well, I'm really excited for, obviously, Michigan, Arizona, because offensively those are juggernauts, and I think they're actually a really good matchup. They're interesting matchups, in my opinion. Arizona has more NBA players in total, but Michigan's got size. They're really well coached. Cadeau is going to be okay. He is now in Indianapolis with his team, so I'm looking forward to it. I want to continue to highlight one of the teams in this because I think
you're really on this.
Dude, I've been on this all week, and it's gotten more in my favor. Tommy Lloyd is gone.
Now
you want to take that might age poorly by Tuesday next week?
Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd not being the North Carolina head coach, I am going to be more surprised if he's Arizona's coach next year than North Carolina.
Has Donovan passed? Has there been anything that they offered it to him or he said no?
I think Billy Donovan actually loves the NBA. He doesn't have to deal with the recruiting, the NIL, the portal. It's just a straight business transaction. And by the way, he might have the best gig in the league. He gets to coach
the least pressure. And I'm in a big market. I'm in a cool city.
He gets to live in Chicago. His ownership group has no idea what's going on, or they don't really care. He might end up sneaking into the top 5 of the draft this year, so he finally might get a franchise guy. I think Billy Donovan, unless he's like stealthily behind the scenes getting a contract ready with UNC, I think Billy Donovan is A-OK being in Chicago. All of the buzz is Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, because Dusty May's got as good a there's no reason for him to go anywhere.
Well, we can talk about why is there any reason for Tommy Lloyd to go anywhere?
I wouldn't think so.
This is a dream job. That's what this is.
The lure of North Carolina means something to Tommy Lloyd.
Also, where is Tommy Lloyd from? Like, what's his background? Because I know he was
at Gonzaga for so long.
Hold on, let me look this up. So Tommy Lloyd, looks like he is... Dude, he's a Washington guy. He was born and raised in Kelso, which, shout out the Northwest. I appreciate a Northwest guy who probably grew up watching Duke UNC saying, damn, dude, now that's a game. So Tommy Lloyd, I think, is leaving Arizona. And if you don't buy it because, hey, maybe Arizona wins the national championship, Sprague, and then why would he leave? He was asked yesterday. They had their big Final Four press conferences, and I got cuts from all the coaches. They're all very different. But Tommy Lloyd was asked, hey, man, the UNC coaching rumors are not going away. Would you care to put to bed any of the rumors?
Listen, I got my full focus on this team. Nothing is distracting me. That's just how I've decided to approach it. I'm excited. I thought we had a really good practice today. I'm excited to plan for a practice tomorrow. And Myron, you've got to know me over the years. I'm a simple guy. I'm kind of just one thing at a time. I'm not a multitasker. You can ask my wife. So I'm 100% locked in on Arizona basketball right now, and I'm excited to see what this team can do. I have a real strong belief in this team, and this team deserves my full attention, so that's what I'm giving them.
Okay.
Arizona fan, make you feel better? Because I'd be like, cool, right now, practice today? None of that dispels the UNC stuff. I think his agent's working on the contract. And if they lose to Michigan, we'll see how quickly they announce that. Wouldn't be shocking if by Sunday they announced Tommy Lloyd is the North Carolina head coach, which makes the Final Four, which I think is already pretty good. Michigan, Arizona's going to be maybe the national championship game, just a stellar one. I think UConn, Illinois is going to be a dogfight, and I cannot wait for those two
that's going to be a war.
teams.
That's going to be spicy. I don't know what Hurley's going to end up doing.
It might end up being the best game.
It's going to be super physical.
So I'm looking forward to this, but now you've added the element of Tommy Lloyd dancing around North Carolina stuff, which all of our history as sports fans and media kind of suggests what? Usually that means...
where there's smoke.
The smoke is black right now, is what I would say about Tommy Lloyd, North Carolina. It's a little bit of a tire fire.
It's blinding.
If I was an Arizona fan, I'm like... At the minimum, Tommy Lloyd, if you're going to leave us, could you leave us with a national championship? Because he's not wrong. If you win the national championship in Arizona, the first one they've had since 97, because who could forget Michigan's in 99? If you win a national championship, and yeah, you're going to lose a lot of these players, if not all of them. I mean, Arizona's literally proving we're a dream job. Yeah. And everybody's going to want to line up and hope that they can get that gig. He is going to give – there's not going to make a lot of sense for people if Arizona wins the title that he would leave it. Other than North Carolina's a dream job.
It makes more sense if he wins it. He's like, all right, I came here, I did it.
I mean, does it? If you won a title, why could you not just stay there and keep winning? You're going to go to North Carolina.
Because some guys look at it as the next challenge. It's like, all right, I accomplished this challenge. Here's the next challenge.
But then this would be the final challenge, unless he's going to the NBA. But he's 52 years old.
No.
By the way, a walking bucket at Walla. Wrong.
What?
The Warriors.
Oh.
Yeah. You could make a delightful little onion mascot.
Why aren't they the sweets?
Dude, and then like halftime, the onion comes out to perform.
Yes.
And he starts peeling off layers.
Layers?
Oh,
yes.
My God. We got a strip show with an onion now.
How are you not the sweets?
How are we not running Walla Walla Community College?
I don't know.
That's a good idea.
I can do your play-by-play.
Let me orchestrate your strip show halftime onion. And then let Swag call play-by-play. And we'll live a delightful little life in Walla Walla.
Absolutely.
We'll be onion farmers.
There you go.
You can live in the farmhouse. I get the main house.
We'll do that. We'll go play some golf courses. We'll drink some nice cab. We'll see what Bledsoe's up to out there with his winery. And
I think he's in Bend. But yeah, I think his winery is in Walla Walla.
His winery's out in Walla Walla.
Yeah, so Tommy Lloyd, are you with me on this? Are you convinced Tommy's gone?
I'm not as convinced he's gone as you. Is there?
Well, why not just dispel it? Is it just a negotiating tactic? He doesn't need to do it.
No, that tactic is I don't want to take any more questions on it. I don't have a good answer, and so...
Which tells you what? If you don't have a good answer...
But that's how you shut it down, is you just bring it back to your team. I'm all focused on Arizona.
Good
we have an opportunity.
Right now. We have a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Practice today.
Yeah. This is all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If I was an Arizona fan, I'd be like, dude, can we just win a title before you bounce for UNC?
Yeah.
That's where I'd fully be at.
Well, then you should be excited he's fully 100% right there, practice.
Well, that's the other part I asked you, because we can get to the Michigan side of this, because they're playing Michigan. Do you also not only worry about losing Tommy Lloyd to UNC, if you're at the Arizona perspective, are you also now worried about the attention? Is all your attention on this game, or are you going to UNC, dude? You're going to have to hit the portal hard.
Well,
got to get a staff.
Yeah.
You got to look at this stuff, and that's how these guys operate. You don't think Justin Joyner, I'm not saying he's not working for Michigan, but he's also, in his off time, what's he doing?
He's making phone calls.
Oregon State. So there's a little bit of worry there. They could beat Michigan. They're very good. We know that. That's not going to be shocking.
The nice thing is the portal's now pushed back to after the Final Four, so it's not like.
But your start. I mean, the inquiry calls are.
No, I understand.
The illegal contact is starting.
But
that's all I'm saying.
If you take the North Carolina job, it's not like if you call somebody.
I mean, it's
a week late. Yeah. I'm now at North Carolina. They're not taking your phone call.
I'm Tommy Lloyd. I'm at North Carolina. You got it. I'll see you tomorrow. That's probably what he's looking at. But I think Tommy Lloyd's gone, and I think he's dancing around it, but we'll see what Arizona can do. They take on Michigan in that Final Four matchup. We hear from Dusty May coming up next as we talk some Final Four in the third hour. Dirt and Sprague 105.1 The Fan. Yeah, good point here, and it was something I had highlighted earlier in the week. Roy Williams was one basket away from winning the national championship at Kansas and left for UNC. Being the alum and learning under Dean Smith was an entirely different thing, so there's obvious tie there. But the reporting from 24/7's UNC website is that UNC, when they were hiring after Roy Williams, Tommy Lloyd wanted that job. Tommy Lloyd was known for a long time for the work he had put in with Mark Few at Gonzaga. And so he was a really well-respected coach that was on the rise and just waiting for his time. He wanted that UNC job bad. That's what the 24/7 Tar Heel website was reporting, that was his job. He wanted it. He thought he was going to get it. They went a different direction. They went with their other alum. They went Hubert Davis. Hubert Davis got to a Final Four year one, and then it since basically just was like, eh. And they had one of their worst seasons and disappointing seasons in quite some time this season, losing in their first game and blowing a 19-point lead to VCU. And by the way, we got some Walla Walla stuff, Swag. People chiming in on Walla Walla. We got some Walla Walla fun facts here. Walla Walla Warrior alum, which I love that we have a listener that's a Walla Walla Community College alum listening right now. Their minor league baseball team is the Walla Walla Sweets.
Perfect.
So somebody else has heard your complaint and a little ahead of you there on that
Good.
one. Now, does the onion strip at the baseball game? Can you peel back the layers? I think it'd be a delightful little show.
Yeah.
It's a PG version of a strip show. It's the best way you can do it, I think. So we'll see what happens with Tommy Lloyd. I'm just convinced with his answers and his ducking and dodging, giving you the 5 Ds. I think he's going to UNC. Win or lose, we'll have to wait on that. But if we come in Monday and we know that Tommy Lloyd's the UNC coach, heard it here first.
There you go.
They take on Michigan in that game.
Yes.
I like Michigan in this game.
I thought the Wolverines were a wagon back in Thanksgiving when they steamrolled through that tournament down in Vegas. They beat Gonzaga by like 40.
Yeah. Now, I think Arizona had the harder opponent in Purdue.
Yeah.
But what Michigan did to Tennessee,
yeah,
holy crap. Like, that was immediately, that game's over. And at least Arizona-Purdue was interesting at the half. Michigan going in, and I picked them to win the whole enchilada because I, like you, I wasn't watching all their games, but I was seeing the fight, and I'm like, dude, they're winning these games by 30.
Yeah.
They're a wagon. Well, Dusty May is hoping to, in just 2 years' time, take what the program was with Juwan Howard and completely flip it on its head and win a national championship for the first time since what year, Jason Swigard?
1989.
Absolutely, and nobody would know that better than you. Dusty May on his journey and the Michigan journey to get back to winning a national championship.
Other than Michael Jordan, since I've been alive, I don't think there's ever been a group change the culture for the better of our sport than the Fab Five. And so number one, we're proud to represent those guys and carry the flag for the former players at the University of Michigan. People have no idea all of the great players because there's been several different coaches and there's been different umbrellas. How many great players and how many great coaches have walked those sidelines and played on that court. So obviously the more attention on the Fab Five, the better for us as a brand and a basketball program.
So he's highlighting going back to when Michigan really built up its popularity with the Fab Five to winning the title in '89. And then remember, John Beilein was there and he took them to the national championship game. They lost to Louisville. Actually, they didn't lose, but they lost. We just don't know who they lost to.
Yes.
Because that title doesn't exist.
Yeah. Nice going, Rick.
You know what? You can blame Rick for having a brothel. I would say he was providing a service. And I'd also add, if you're going to vacate titles, you should give it to the team that was in the title game that you're acknowledging was in the title game. But that's neither here nor there. But I like Michigan in that Arizona match. That is an all-time, by the way, story. The 10-second restaurant experience and a brothel.
But he didn't know what was going on.
He had no idea.
No.
He'd met the woman one time. She was delightful. She just happened to be around the campus the whole time. In a brothel.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about that enough. A brothel with a college basketball program. I like Michigan in this one. I understand the guard play for Arizona. God, how good is it? And Koa Pete has been fantastic. What's the other center's name?
Krivas.
Krivas. Dude, talk about a good-ass player, and he makes the right pass every single time.
He's got great footwork. He's always under control. He's balanced. Doesn't seem to get out of position.
Yep.
Now, he can get beat. He's a little
no doubt
slow of foot if you can draw him out. But he's the perfect guy to go up against Maya for Michigan.
To me, this is we had Brian Bush on yesterday, the play-by-play guy in Michigan. He was really good. It was fun to talk to Brian Bush. And he made the point is basically this. Because when you're talking about the juggernauts of these Final Four teams, and these two are largely considered the two best, Michigan hitting threes, and is Arizona going to finally shoot them? That's it. Obviously, they got good size and athleticism over there with Michigan and Yaxel and Merez, but Arizona, as we just talked about with Krivas and Koa Pete, has theirs, and then the guard play matchup. What is Michigan going to do to slow up the guard play with Bradford and Berries and try to slow that down? It's largely just based on my bracket. I just kind of like Michigan here. And I think Dusty May, dude, he might have been in the running for UNC. Dusty May, I don't think, has been picked for the UNC job. I think Tommy Lloyd has. And so I do buy a little bit into the agent giving Tommy Lloyd updates at 9 o'clock in the hotel room. Hey, Tommy, this is what's happening right now. Tar Heels, just giving you an update. Okay, thanks, man. I'll keep ducking and dodging those questions. And Dusty May is, getting prepared for a matchup. This is it. Do you think this is the national championship game? You'd be hard-pressed to not pick the winner of this, right?
No, not necessarily. I'm not going to write off whoever wins UConn or Illinois. Certainly at UConn, they won 2 of the last 3, so if they get there, they know what they're doing. Certainly whoever wins this game will be a favorite. But no, I'm not riding off the other side. Just, they have no chance.
I mean, either one of those teams, Michigan, Arizona, they're going to go into it.
Illinois got as much length as
I know
both those teams. So I think from a matchup standpoint, the question will be, can they fill it up at the rate that they will need to stick with either of those teams that they play?
The better game. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to say the better title.
I don't think we're going to get a bad matchup no matter who wins, and that's why I'm really excited for it. It'll be different depending on who it is. But
the UConn side is like if UConn beats Illinois, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, okay, here comes UConn. They've been written off. They've not been talked about the way that they once were.
We'll hear about all the experience that Caravan has and Terrace Reed.
But there's also the possibility
now
for UConn to face either one of these teams.
They can throw a stinker up. They've thrown stinkers up before.
Yes. I mean, we saw it in the Big East title game. Yeah. They got blown out by St. John's. Mm-hmm. So they had to have the massive comeback against Duke, which, God, dude, I don't think you're over that if you're a Duke.
But I also think if UConn gets behind early to either one of those teams, because we know they're not going to change what they do, they won't panic.
Yeah.
That it's not over until, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, just because if they're down 12 at halftime, you're sticking with the second half. It's like, okay, they'll make some adjustments. Can they start knocking down some threes? Whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You're not writing them off.
I think Illinois-UConn's going to end up being the better game.
I think it's going to be a nail-biter right down to the wire. And we might get another finish like we had in the UConn, it's my
Duke game, last couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. Somebody says, if Tommy Lloyd does go to North Carolina, what does he have to do in order to keep his head coaching job for the first 3 or 4 years? I think if North Carolina is making that move, the buyout for Tommy Lloyd is extraordinary. They're not the most deep-pocketed university, especially with this Belichick
They
crap.
Don't like to make coaching. They did not want to have to fire Hubert Davis.
If Hubert Davis won
and he was
the VCU
still there
game,
5 years.
Hubert Davis won the VCU game, he'd still be the coach.
Yes.
That was something they hadn't seen done since, 1985 or 80?
It was after, Guthridge, that just didn't work after Dean.
No, but like losing in the first round and blowing a 19-point lead. I mean, we hadn't seen a lead that blown like that. But
I think the thing was in round of 64 games.
That's what it was.
Everybody before Hubert Davis from when they expanded the tournament was 31-2, and Hubert was 2-2.
That's right. The Tommy Lloyd pressure cooker thing I don't think is real because they're going way out of pocket to get him.
Yeah.
But I do think it's as simple as a
now,
Sweet
there
16
will be
next
internal
year.
pressure to like, okay, let's go.
A Sweet 16 next year, maybe a couple Sweet 16s and an Elite 8. You give that the first 3 years because that's just a margin, right? That's a margin of a couple buckets for teams like UNC. I think if you can at least get to that level, then people at Chapel Hill are like, okay, and Tommy Lloyd knows what he's doing.
And can he get on a recruiting level with Duke? Because Duke's the measuring stick. Most of the rest of the conference doesn't matter. Are you right there recruiting equal to Duke? Are you getting a McDonald's All-American, the elite, the guys that are projected to be NBA lottery picks whenever they go to the NBA, are you getting one or two of those? Or are they all going to Duke?
Well,
and
who do you bring with you from Arizona to UNC if he does leave? And then I think the portal is going to be the biggest thing for him next year because the high school recruiting stuff it's mostly done. I think
for next year, yes.
For next year. So like I think Stokes at Rainier Beach is waiting, and Meringue told me he thinks it's going to be Duke. Because Duke doesn't really have, Boozer's going to leave. His brother's
they got to wait and see how many dudes leave.
So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see on it, man. But I think Arizona, Michigan, a lot of people have it as the pseudo-national championship. Very well could be the case. I don't want to overlook the other game.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. That winner will be the favorite, probably 5 or 6 points.
Let's get into Illinois and UConn. We'll get into that. And also something big happening in Major League Baseball today. I want to talk about that a little bit. That's kind of exciting. And we gotta address somebody who has gone viral on the internet, and we have audio for it. So all of that is ahead. But first, Swag with the sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, after their new owner addressed the media for the first time since taking control of the team, the Trailblazers found some inspiration in the second half against the Pelicans, outscoring New Orleans 58-41 for the 118-106 victory. They leapfrogged the Clippers, now sit in 8th space in the Western Conference. 4 games to go in the regular season. Portland heads to Denver and San Antonio for road games next week on Monday and Wednesday. The Portland Fire will have the beginnings of a roster later today. WNBA expansion draft commencing at 12:30 on ESPN. Along with the Toronto Tempo, each team will be able to select up to 12 players, including 1 unrestricted free agent. The Fire will have the first selection. Men's Final Four tomorrow is in Indianapolis. Illinois, UConn will be up first, 3:09 p.m. That'll be followed by Arizona and Michigan at 5:49. Both games will be on TBS. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Oregon.
Talking some Final Four now. By the way, we did some Dundon conversation earlier. There is one media member locally that has written about another ownership situation in the city. I'll tell you who that is. I heard this yesterday off the air, so I'll tell you who it is as some of it's kind of trickling out a little bit. Very interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if we should assume this, or that, but I'll tell you who that is. We have a person on the internet who deserves to be dragged through the mud a little bit because of the, nature of their existence, and so we'll talk about that today. We will Sprague the line. A Final Four. We got a women's Final Four today. Why would we not? Make some picks, damn it. 9:30. Swag. Nut up or shut up.
Okay.
The fan text line is 503-864-6326. You can send your Sprague line sponsors in. Already got a few of them on the old show sheet here. So if you send them in, we'll copy, paste them, assuming they're appropriate for on-air read. And we'll get to that coming up at 9:30. But we were talking about the Michigan-Arizona game. And by the way, somebody with a good point. I was reading back to the text line. I'd seen it in a couple minutes. And somebody had texted in that they thought High Point should be called the Tippy Toppers. I mean, seems childish, but not wrong. You know what I mean? The High Point Tippy Toppers has got a great ring to it.
Or the Blunts.
Just a baseball bat logo, but it's like also kind of a doobie. It's like shaped exactly like a blunt, but they put like grip around it to make you think, oh, it's a baseball bat. Blunt. Or just Willie Nelson smiling, whatever you want to do. Illinois and UConn, the Final Four game that the national media mostly is poo-pooing, but you're getting people out there, Dave Revson and company, and they're like, dude, don't overlook Illinois. Yeah. And I'm kind of one of these. I think Illinois is going to win. I like Illinois, and I think Illinois could win the whole thing.
They're 1.5-point favorites.
Let's start with Underwood, Brad Underwood, the Illinois coach. So we had an Illinois guest this week, and
he was a little dry.
Buddy, there wasn't a bottle of oil you could have brought to that party to not keep that dry. All right? That was done as soon as it began. Anyways, didn't get much of a look. Brad Underwood's story is really good, and here is Brad Underwood talking about his journey through coaching to reaching a Final Four.
Been 9 years of dreaming a big dream since I took the Illinois job, and I'm excited that this group of guys gets to experience this opportunity. We know that we've got a great opponent in UConn, a team that we saw earlier in the year. I'm very, very grateful for Danny sending a tweet out early in the year after I congratulated him on a win and him being able to foresee that we'd both be here in Indy.
Yeah, he did. So they played earlier. UConn went on a big run in that game, ended up winning the game, and Dan Hurley was like, we'll see them again in the NCAA tournament. Here they are. They're in the Final Four. And on the other side, you've got college basketball's villain, the very own, a guy that you can hate. You're more than welcome to not like him. You can say he's the number one villain in the entire sport because Duke's coach is not really hateable. Duke they are, but the coach is not.
Coach isn't.
Yeah, Shire's good. Dan Hurley is the number one villain in the sport, and I've said this. I might not be a big Dan Hurley guy, but I do love to watch Dan Hurley on television.
He's more like the Joker than somebody. He's more like Dr. Evil. Yeah.
The Joker, I think, was the best way you could have put that because you have largely people that don't like him, but you have these sports fans out there that are like, actually,
he's pretty entertaining.
You see these scars? Dan Hurley on his Final Four and UConn team trying to win their third championship in 4 years.
Like the reality is that moment's over. It's an incredible moment. You'll have that the rest of your life. But we came here for rings, not watches. Everyone that comes to the Final Four gets a beautiful watch. But only one group's going to get a ring. So get off social media, stop injecting the dopamine into your arm, and get serious about the preparation and the practice, because we don't hang banners for Final Fours at UConn. We hang national championship banners, and if you want to hang a banner, you got to get your eyes off social media, get your face out of the phone, and get locked in on Illinois, because Illinois is one of the best teams in the country, and they're as big a threat to winning this tournament as any of the four teams.
We're here for rings, not watches.
That's right.
That's a great line. We don't hang Final Four banners, by the way.
Well, no, because the women have,
they have too many.
Lord knows how many of them up there. I'm probably going to hang another one.
Might have a year where the men and women win again in the same season.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was UConn the last one to do that? Who else would have done it?
South Carolina had the year where Don got to the Final Four and Frank Martin did.
Yeah.
That they didn't win it.
They didn't win it.
I'm trying to think men's basketball and women's basketball. Yeah, because you've had too many other, like, the women's team has been good and the men's team has been bad, or vice versa. Duke?
Could have been Duke.
Back in, was Elena Beard? Did they do it?
It's only UConn that's ever done it.
It's only UConn that's ever done it, huh? How many times have they done it? Twice?
Let me go look.
Because UConn women have won so many that I've lost count, whereas Duke men at least have a track record of, like, being able to see pretty quickly what years it was.
I'm not seeing the year. I'm going to have to go back and look
they've done it.
Both lists,
And
yes.
to your point, the Final Four thing, like, you don't need to do the banners for that because, I mean, you can have a Final Four banner. You just put in tiny font what year. But, yeah, to his point, they don't do it. They only do it for title games. He's so good for the sport. Dusty May seems like a good dude. Underwood's story is great. And Tommy Lloyd is, Tommy Lloyd. You need him in this Final Four. And it's not that Duke went, people probably are pretty excited about Duke, Illinois, and the idea that Duke could get to a national championship game, and you've got Cam Boozer and the NBA draft involved. But you also, if you're being honest, you'd rather have a character like Hurley in your Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
And John Shire, totally fine. Good dude. Seems like he genuinely cares about the players. Dan Hurley's the character, and he's the one that's going to sell this. So they're there for rings, not watches. And I cannot wait for this one. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Illinois fans going in incredibly nervous. They've already lost to this team, and I know a lot has changed. Keaton Wagler has really stepped up here. Stojakovic didn't even have a good game in their first matchup. And talk about a bucket. There was a highlight of him during their Elite Eight game against Purdue where he jabbed, took it in, and he got an and one. And I forget who was on the call. Maybe it was Grant Hill. And he was like, his dad didn't do that. And I kind of had a moment of I think Stojakovic is going to be a really good player. If I was an NBA team, be very interested in a player like that. His dad's a pro. He seems like a pro. And he can finish so well around the rim. To act like Peja Stojakovic wasn't an MFing problem back in his day. The dude didn't just shoot threes. That guy, he had a year where I think he finished top 3 in the MVP conversation. Yeah. Once the Sacramento run was kind of over and it was largely just him right before he went to New Orleans, dude, he put on a show at the end of one of those seasons. So I'm really excited about it. I don't think there's a coaching advantage either way here. Hurley has the experience, but I think Underwood's a good coach. And I'm looking forward to see. I think this is going to be the best game of the weekend. I think this is going to be the closest down to the wire one. And if we get Michigan-Arizona to be a great game, I'm going to come in Monday just as excited.
Yeah.
But I think that, of the two of them, I think that one, because of the history they played this season and because UConn's coming in as such, dude, they're a pretty distant fourth favorite to win the title. It's Michigan, it's Arizona, and then it's a little down there, it's a little Illinois, and then even further down, UConn was plus 700. You have 7-1 odds on the Huskies to win their third title in 4 years. It's crazy to think of UConn coming into a Final Four as such a not underdog in this matchup because they're a tiny one, but in the grand scheme of winning a title, be such an underdog.
I went back and looked. UConn won both the men's and women's in 2004 and 2014.
2004-14, so 10 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that would be the Okafor-Ben Gordon UConn team, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And then 04 would have been Taurasi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Taurasi, Emeka, Okafor, Ben Gordon. Yeah. That's a pretty good one. And we know that they're both capable because the women's Final Four is tonight.
Yes.
You've got
all 4 1 seeds.
South Carolina and UConn.
Yes.
And then Texas against UCLA.
So UConn's like a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm taking
UCLA is a 1.5-point favorite.
Who is?
No, Texas is a 1.5-point favorite.
Oh, I would hammer. Okay, we'll Sprague the line at 9:30. I'll give you my picks. For that one because I actually have them. I think it's pretty clear what the national championship game is going to be. in the women's Final Four. But I'm looking forward to it. I think Final Four is going to be great. I'm one that, I miss the mid-majors, but I have a new definition of the mid-majors here. If you're mid in your major conference, that's your new definition.
I've said it before, there's an easy fix to give more really good mid-major teams. All you have to do is say you have to be 500 or better in your conference to be eligible.
But we don't want to see them here. This is who we want to see.
They won't make it to here.
No, yeah.
They're done making it to the Final Four unless there's some anomaly where you've got an NBA lottery guy on a smaller school for some weird reason.
Like San Diego State and FAU, that was the last year that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's no longer a possibility.
No.
And if you think Gonzaga ever gets back to it, I mean...
Yeah, but if Gonzaga does it, they're going to have a couple guys that are going to get drafted in the NBA.
Yeah. Also, by definition, they're a mid-major, but the program
not in reality.
History, they operate like a major program. So... looking forward to it. I think Illinois, UConn, best game. Michigan, Arizona, going to be just a juggernaut battle. And I think ultimately, I'm leaning Michigan, Illinois. That's where I'm going to pick. National championship game for Monday. Let's move on, and let's talk about this exciting player. And it's kind of setting a buzz in the sport. We'll get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan.
Big hits. Big bets. Big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
2 down for Matt Olson. Matt Olson drives it out to center. Thomas is back. Is it above the yellow line? It is, and it's a solo homer for Matt Olson to get the party started in the desert on this Thursday night.
Yeah, there's Braves television. Boy, talk about a party for my team. I got to turn this game off pretty quickly. They got to about 13 runs, and I'm like, okay, this is done. Off with the head of the Snakes. The Atlanta Braves go into Arizona and lay the wood 17-2. Most runs they've ever scored in Arizona as the offensive output finally reaches the peak of the season. Layin' Wood Report is brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, and special orders. Great customer service at Southeast Stark Street, or you can visit them online. Check them out, mrplywoodinc.com.
could have shouted out your name, but even if
I'm always a little surprised when the brand man comes in to talk. And we're having really good off-air conversation. I'm always surprised the commercial is over, the music starts.
Right.
Because I wasn't looking at the clock there.
He secretly wants to be on a show again. He misses not
that
being.
was what I was going to say. I was surprised he wasn't going to hang around.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if he feels that I don't want him here. I don't know if it's a me problem. I told you yesterday, I think we have a coworker that doesn't like me. And it's always interesting when people don't like you, like to Tom Dundon's point. It's low on the list of priorities. But he also acknowledged, like, you want to be liked, right? Nobody wants to be disliked.
No.
We have a coworker.
Makes life easier when, you can have a random conversation with somebody.
Well, but I have got random conversations with this person. I don't think they like me.
Yeah, but you are the master of the awkward conversation. You will ask the uncomfortable what's going on in your head question.
Well, I'm curious. Does nobody else think about these random stupid things?
Most of them I don't.
You know what I hit my wife with last night as I was loading the dishwasher? So imagine this. I'm at the sink. I'm washing the dishes. I'm like, dude, I hate doing dishes. I just want to go to upstairs. I got a little show sheet stuff I got to get done. It's probably about 8:45. We weren't talking, right? She was in the kitchen. I got into the kitchen. I start doing the dishes. She's just standing there. And I go, you think you'd be scared if you had to die alone in deep space?
Yeah. See, my brain doesn't go there. I'm focused. I'm just like Dundon. What's next? I'm focused on the next thing. Let's get this solved. Quit worrying about stuff that's down the road.
Well, I'm washing dishes. What do you want me to do? I've already mapped out most of the show. It's 8:45. It's my bedtime pretty close. It's a random thought. And I know that'll throw most people off, and she was just like, what? And she's used to me asking these.
I was going to say, she's known you for a while now.
Yeah.
So she's not blindsided by those.
And no, she's not. And I was disappointed with her answer. I thought it'd be a little more in-depth.
Yeah, see, she's shutting you down. It's like, no, not now. We're not going down this road. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
But it's not like I'm asking every coworker those questions.
8:45, that was the third quarter. That was the push from the Blazers.
Well, I'd seen the push. Yeah, but I have a TV in front of my...
Okay.
I can do, I can walk and chew gum. Although yesterday I went in for a run because the weather ended up being nice.
Yeah, I almost choked on your gum or something.
No, but I had a sweatshirt on. Dude, about halfway of a 4-miler, I'm instantly regretting it. So you know what I'm doing? I can't stop. I have severe.
Or you're trying to take your sweatshirt off while you're running, and you almost fell down.
But I
and
also
got it caught in your head.
I also have headphones on that are over my ears. So as I'm running, I'm taking headphones off. I'm pulling sweatshirt off. I don't want to lose my pace. And, dude, I almost hit off
And all of a
curb.
sudden you look like Phoebe running in an episode of Friends or something.
I just looked like somebody dazed and confused because the sweatshirt comes off and I'm realizing that I'm heading towards the edge of the curb and I almost bit it. Luckily, I saved it and then ended up tying the sweatshirt around the waist. But, yeah, so sometimes, doing multiple tasks at one time doesn't always go well for me. In this instance, I'm just convinced this person doesn't like me.
I don't think so.
You also wouldn't be surprised because you've seen me have conversations with him.
Yeah, I know. You make everybody awkward.
I don't make them awkward. They make themselves awkward.
No, you make them feel awkward.
I think you guys are way wrong on this. Speaking of
awkward.
How about the Pirates being exciting?
Hey!
Connor Griffin is set to make his debut today, huh?
It's the home opener in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They got the Orioles.
You got a 6'3", 220-pound specimen step into shortstop.
He raked in spring training.
He did.
There was a little grumbling that he wasn't on the opening day roster. What are they doing?
And
or
I
is
actually
this a
feel for the
service
Pirates
time?
fans there. That was dumb. He's that good.
He's there for the home opener. They started the season on the road.
You still could have
I know.
built up just as much excitement about it versus holding him. So he's 19 years old. He's a shortstop for the Pirates. I saw Skeens yesterday. I think he was on with McAfee, and he's just like, dude, I'm so jacked about this. He is the first teenage position player since Juan Soto debuted in 2018. So it's been a hot minute since we've had somebody be this young. He's the best prospect baseball has seen in years, according to most, if not all, the scouts. And people are just, he's the full real deal. Like, they think he's the next Bobby Witt Jr. type player. He's the real deal infielder, and he's going to be lethal with the bat. You pair that with O'Neal Cruz. Obviously, you got Skeens on the bump. Suddenly, Pittsburgh might not be good, but pretty watchable.
We hope so. Because that was, the Pirates in my youth, I remember Willie Stargell and Dave Parker and We Are Family and the best hats that they had going, Kent to Colby.
You had the 70s Pirates.
And they won a World Series.
Early 90s Pirates.
And then you had Bonds there with them when they could not get through to the World Series.
And then you had McCutchen and Kendall for like a couple-year run
Yeah, that
there.
was for...
what was their pitcher they had also? Ended up being traded, coincidentally.
Well, most of them ended up leaving.
That's kind of the Pirates' problem. They don't keep all the players. Like, should I care about this? Because is he going to be a
They got a great new ballpark right on the river.
Yeah.
It's
Dude, it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful.
I mean, that's not new. That ballpark's been there for
relatively.
Kind of.
They were in Three Rivers in that AstroTurf when there's like 7 stadiums in the Midwest that all look the same. They were circular, multi-purpose, old AstroTurf. Yeah, when was that
PNC
ballpark?
Park. Okay.
Oh God, how long ago was it?
I was still in high school. I'm going to be 40.
No, it's over 20 years ago.
01. New park.
Still looks new.
Yeah, it looks good. Good Oracle moment for you right there. Relatively new ballpark.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
Camden's relatively new.
Sure. Yeah, and baseball lingo, I guess. Sure. 25 years old. All right. Hey, look, you don't get excited or care much about the Pirates.
Yeah.
But a good teenage prospect being called up.
It's
exciting.
Your team. Yeah, if you're looking for a road trip to go see your team in some different ballpark.
At what time is their game starting?
1:15, I think.
You know what's going to happen at 1:15?
Some high school kid's going to get the full swag treatment tonight.
In the living room.
There you go.
You're going to watch this kid.
You are. It's on the MLB Network's grabbing the national feed.
Dude, it's the biggest deal right now on the MLB Network. Like, they got Shahadi in a Pirates hoodie, and the Pirates are actually building some buzz for themselves. Now watch them ruin it because their ownership group is terrible, but at least got something to look forward to. Some day baseball. We got a lot of day baseball today because you got a lot of home openers for teams.
Yeah, teams that were on the road last week get their home openers now today.
A lot to get to in the final hour of the program. We will Sprague the line.
Yes.
So if you got Sprague
So we have
sponsors,
lines on the men's and women's Final Fours.
I will give you those. We also have an expansion draft today. Our women's basketball team.
12:30 p.m. It's
midday?
on ESPN.
Why would you do this at 12:30?
Because
tell me why a league would decide to do this on a 12:30. Why would you not do it in between the two women's Final Four?
Because you want it on TV, and ESPN said we have women's Final Four coverage, and ESPN is their partner. If you want it on TV, ESPN it goes at 12:30. I think it was more that than the WNBA saying.
Don't we do the college football playoff rankings in between college basketball games?
Yeah, but I don't think they can wedge it in that. I think there's a certain extent to which they don't know how long it will take.
But they know they're drafting.
I would hope so.
Okay. 12:30 is an odd start time is what I would say about that league.
Yeah, but also
players on the roster.
They were probably planning on having this a couple of months ago, but they didn't have a CBA.
The CBA part, yeah, there's no doubt. So a lot to get to in the final hour. Springline sponsors are welcome at 503-864-6326. We're back with the final hour, including another local ownership group update, potentially, and we need to address one of the biggest villains on the internet in the last 2 weeks. Hour number 4, Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Trailblazers still undefeated. Yes, Tom Dundon and his members of his new ownership group addressing the media for the first time on Thursday, then watched his squad outscore New Orleans 58-41 in the second half for a 118-106 victory. That leaps the Clippers into the 8th spot in the Western Conference standings. 4 games left in the regular season. The next 2 on the road for Portland at Denver and San Antonio next week. Today, the Portland Fire will put the beginnings of a roster together as the WNBA expansion draft will commence at 12:30 on ESPN. Along with the Toronto Tempo, each team will be able to select up to 12 players and can include 1 unrestricted free agent in that list. The Fire will have the first selection. Women's Final Four action tonight from Phoenix, 4 o'clock, South Carolina taking on Connecticut, followed by Texas and UCLA at 6:30, both those games on ESPN. Round 2 of the Valero Texas Open is the last chance to tune up before the Masters. Robert McIntyre now leading the field at 10 under par. Alex Smalley 1 back at 9 under. Andrew Putnam and Ludwig Oberg tied at 8 under. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks. Sprague on the Fan Sports Network.
Hockey, whatever, on the rink, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
All right, welcome back in. It's the, it's the final hour for us, man. The journey is coming close to an end.
That's right.
It's been a fun little week of shows. Dirt will be back. I believe it's Tuesday. Do you have that? You were with him
I'm
last
thinking
week.
Tuesday as well.
Because he said he's coming back late, and so he didn't want to
he didn't leave until Monday morning.
Yeah, but I think the reason he's not here Monday is he comes back super late Sunday night, and he's not going to do a 3 hours of sleep.
Nor should you.
So I think it's Tuesday we'll have Dirt back. The full show will be back together for Masters Week. Huh?
I know.
Masters Week on the Fan brought to you by Golf Erections. Okay. So we'll have a lot to get to next week. We'll have a national championship game set for Monday, so obviously we have a lot to talk about with that. The Blazers have a pivotal play-in battle that's going to happen, and there's actually some more football stuff. I didn't get to as much football stuff today as I wanted to, and I apologize for that, but we had the Tom Dundon press conference, some really good thoughts at the Fan text line, 503-864-6326 is where you can also, by the way, put in your Spring Line sponsors. I got a couple of them copy-pasted. I'll open the old Fan text line here in just a second and try to see if we got some more coming in. It's whatever you want to put, man. You want to call me out? Call me an idiot. The Charlie Brown of the radio station? You name it, I am it. I'm okay being that. We got a busy little day here at the Fan in the Odyssey Portland building. A good client party's going to be happening today. And so you got a shortened version of Isaac and Suk, and then I was told that we got Stephen Vaughn having a show, as Isaac and Suk will be kissing babies and shaking hands and hanging out with all the big wigs in the building, as we'll be getting together today and having a good time at the Odyssey building. So happy Friday, everybody. Happy Good Friday to those out there observing. We had Easter weekend. I did say this earlier. I'll say it again. I do think the Easter egg-shaped Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, it is goated. It is the best candy. There is not an argument for first place. I kind of think everything else is a distant second. Now, how you separate second in the Easter candy conversation, and I know not everybody celebrates Easter, but if you're partaking in some of the Easter candy, I mean, I don't know what second place would be, but it is not anywhere close to a debate of what number one is, and that's the egg-shaped candy from one Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So you're welcome to get those in at the text line as well, 503-864-6326. Good morning, YouTube, the Odyssey app, 1080 AM, 105.1 FM. It's good to be here on this Friday. We kick off the final hour. We talked about Tom Dundon. And by the way, we're going to humiliate, or at least play audio that has humiliated an individual out there in the world, and rightfully so, given the audio clips that we're going to bring you at 9:15. So we talked a lot about Tom Dundon, and Dundon has the press conference yesterday. I'm of the opinion, if you missed it in the 7 a.m. hour, my biggest takeaway is they're making a big trade this summer. It's abundantly clear to me. I might be getting Charlie Brown. I totally get it. Everybody's been telling you that, like, hey, you know, that's been happening. It's, this deadline, and the next deadline, and this summer, and that summer. I totally get why people would be skeptical of that opinion, and I certainly have been since they refused to trade the 3rd pick in the draft or even the 23rd pick in the Scoot draft. But I'm just of the opinion because of Dundon's background, they are going to be doing that. So that was my takeaway, my biggest of the takeaways, because we still have to wait for leasing. We got to wait for money, and I know people are interested. You still got people scared. I know Quick wrote a good piece today. I disagree with some of it, but I understand why he's writing it and why he comes to the opinion of being weary of Dundon and the whole relocation stuff and how all the negotiating is going to go with the local government. But my biggest takeaway is going to be that the summertime is going to be super exciting for us here as they are still in a play-in battle. That being said, one group that has not been talked about is the Portland Diamond Project. We haven't talked much about the Portland Diamond Project and where all that kind of sits right now, and I know people, you get a decent amount of people that don't buy into it. They think it's a merch-based company and they're into real estate, and that's kind of it, that they don't really buy that we're going to get baseball. What we have made abundantly clear on this show, because I've gone from going all in, this is going to happen, to, I don't think it's going to happen, to going back all in. I've gone back and forth, I think like many other people out there on this. The thing about the Major League Baseball to Portland drive is there's 2 options here. They need to be as West Coast as they possibly can. It makes sense for their map, and by all the intel from Rod Manfred and Major League Baseball, they want to go out west. So when you look at it, you have Salt Lake City, and you have one of the turncoats of Salt Lake City group, Dale Murphy, should be in the Hall of Fame, 2-time MVP for the Atlanta Braves. He turned his back on our group, and he went to Salt Lake. Now, look, it makes sense for Dale Murphy, his personal beliefs, where he's residing most of the time. I get it. And I read a piece a couple months back on The Athletic about Salt Lake and how their whole turn to sports, and they're going in on pro sports, and their entire area, like their city dynamic is set up entirely different than ours. It's more flat. You got more land and all that. And like Utah is going all in on pro sports. They got the Mammoth. They obviously have the Jazz. We know college football is a pretty big part of that community as well, but they want to keep building, man. They want the baseball team. So it's between us and Salt Lake. And the gist of it is that Salt Lake is like way more prepared, it feels like, than we are here in Portland with the mix of where the stadium is going to be built, what it takes to get it to be built, the politics here, whereas in Utah it feels like everybody's kind of all in on the pro sports thing. So if you want to say that you think Salt Lake is ahead of us, there's no doubt. We got a little bit of news today. I saw from Dwight Jaynes, and I heard this yesterday, but I was like, oh, okay, that there might be investors involved with the San Francisco 49ers that are jumping in with the Portland Diamond Project. So if you're looking for some money parts of this, because that's the other, I think, under the radar part of the Portland Diamond Project is, and this is why I've gone back and forth, it's felt very odd. It's felt odd in the sense of, hey, we're here. This is all private. We've got money. Oh, okay. And then quietly goes away. And then you hear the buzz kind of underground is the money's not really there anymore. And so I've never really known what to believe. I'm not going to act like I'm sourced within the Portland Diamond Project group. And so if I'm speaking out of pocket, I apologize. But that's kind of been what I've observed on the media side is like, hey, the money's here. It's all private. We have it, no doubt. And then quietly the last couple of years, well, we don't really have it. Well, this would be an indication that they've got money involved. Now, I'll say this. We talked with David Sampson, who works for the Levitard Media Group, and he does a daily show every day by himself called Nothing Personal with David Sampson. He's the former president and front office exec for the Marlins, won the World Series in 2003. He's pretty smart, knowledgeable dude. He gives you the ownership perspective, but I still think it's pretty good intel when he provides it. We've had him on our show a few times about this topic, and he has basically said any suggestion that you think one city's ahead of the other right now would be foolish and dumb. And we pressed him. We were like, yo, would you rather Portland, Salt Lake, how do you he was like, if they got to pick, if all things were equal and set up for baseball, they would pick Portland. Now, again, we got our problems here. There is no doubt about that.
Right.
There's an uphill battle that group is climbing. But if you can get an investing group from the National Football League on and you're adding more money to the group, not to mention relationships that some people in the group might have with Rob Manfred, who's already been here and visited and talked with the group, dude, not like me saying this is happening, guys, but me going, hell yeah, I like to hear a good update every now and then, and that's what this is. You get an NFL-based group that's now going to be involved. I think that's pretty encouraging news. So I will give proper credit here. I saw it from Dwight Janes, who published a piece on his Substack, and I just think it's encouraging news. Doesn't mean anything
yet.
But it's good. It's good that there's more money that's backing the situation to try to bring us a baseball team. And I know that seems, dude, given the Moda Center and the Dundon lease and the money, like, dude, it seems so far-fetched to even think about that right now with the way our city is.
But Manfred's
it's encouraging.
Manfred's gonna play out his existing contract, but all indications are once his current contract is up, he's done. There is all sorts of obviously.
Now, when is his contract up?
I want to say 29 or 30.
So he's got about 3 to 4 years.
He's got to get a new CBA done. That's the biggest obstacle right now. He's renegotiated the TV deals, at least for the next few years. So they got to get a new CBA done. They will probably look to extend or, get TV deals further into the future. Once he does those two things, then he wants credit for expansion in his legacy.
And I'm saying that's like if he was to walk out at 2030, which he's saying he will, walking out with Nashville and Portland.
Yep.
Or who is it? Montreal?
Montreal wants back in.
I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but also like that. I remember those games as a Braves fan. Those Expo.
Well, it depends on
terrible
the new ownership group, how well heeled they are, and what a new stadium in Montreal looks like.
There's no doubt about it. But whatever it is, if Portland is one of the cities, like talk about a legacy leaving, man. You created two teams, so I'm with you there. That's the encouraging part. Is he has to deal with his labor fight, and is there a salary cap and not? And then he's also, I think, wanting to check out with at least walking out saying, fill in the blank 2 cities. We'll have a team starting maybe the year after I'm gone, 2 years after I'm gone. Yeah, whatever that ends up being. But that's encouraging news to hear that there's money involved. That's all I care about at this point. If you want to make it happen, you need money. And we don't have a lot of those pockets around here. As you can see, we talked about Dundon and not being the richest owner and the most deep-pocketed group. But if you find people with money, man, and that's what makes the world go round. So encouraging news, I thought, something to pass along locally of making me feel a little better. No promises, but makes me feel a little better. We will give an update. There's actually, coincidentally, I just saw news about Connor Griffin. I know this came out yesterday, and I just didn't mention it, but I'm seeing it on the MLB Network, so it might have just happened. A little bit of history being made here.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you what that is, and then we need to talk about this individual. I saw this on the internet about 4, 5, 6 days ago, something about that, and I just was like, whoa, this is a real person, and we need to play the audio cuts left over from the Magic Hat, and we'll Sprague the line at the bottom of the hour with the women's Final Four and the men's Final Four games. And so you can text in your Sprague line sponsors at 503-864-6326. Loaded final hour. We roll on 105.1 The Fan.
When the tournament moment calls for bold, break your beak. Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing. Enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
I'm very, very grateful for Danny sending a tweet out early in the year after I congratulated him on a win and him being able to foresee that we'd both be here in Indy.
Yeah, there's Brad Underwood, Illinois head coach. Long road and journey for him from starting from the JUCO ranks to Illinois. But he did it. The dude has done it. Illinois Final Four against Hurley. They played early this year, and Hurley and UConn won the game. And then Hurley sent out a tweet that basically said, we're going to see them again in the tournament. There is no doubt about it. The Bracket Buster Report is brought to you by Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing, packed with citrus hops killer aroma, and a smooth finish. Beak Breaker, enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
Want a beer?
Coming up on the Firm, you got a loaded show. Kaylin Kyle will be on with them at 11:15. She's delightful. Did a good job covering the MLS, and she'll be talking Timbers with P. Harris, who does Timbers Fan every Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Indeed. They got a big one on the road at BC Place this
The
weekend.
Whitecaps.
Yeah.
The Cascadia Cup.
I know.
We're second to last.
Supposedly as healthy as the Timbers have been all season.
This is it.
So,
ole.
We'll see.
I'm looking forward to going to my first Timbers match this summer. Not ever, but my first game. I'm probably going to wait for like a really nice weekend. That's kind of the goal, I think. Went there last year, had a delightful time. They lost in heartbreaking fashion.
That's not an uncommon
it was freezing,
storyline.
And I was wearing a T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, I know. I've been there a ton of times. I've been there in the rain and all sorts of stuff. It's part of the experience.
We are going to Sprague the line because we got Final Four games. What do you guys want me to do? I got to give you picks. We got hot picks. We got to get to them. That's coming up at 9:30. Sprague the line sponsors are always welcome at 503-864-6326. By the way, the pitcher I was thinking about was Garrett Cole.
Okay.
Of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Really good in the moment. And
now what?
Our listener Shane said, I went to PNC Park when it first opened. And that was when I was 7.
Oh, well, look, I've lived a long time.
Well, you said it, not me.
I know.
And you know what you like. Yeah. You know what's new, or you forget what's new, what's old. You know what you like. 9 inches of dark chocolate, right there, up Swigard's alley. Best Easter candy, peanut butter cup.
Messing with peanut butter.
So a little bit of news. I don't know if I just missed this in general. By the
way,
I
think this is
breaking,
I mean,
right?
There was chatter that they wanted to get something done, but I think it's actually there's something on the table, and it looks like it's going to happen soon.
Somebody says PNC Park is older than Jordan Hudson. Belichick winning his first Super Bowl. His future wife isn't even born yet. Connor Griffin has signed a 9-year, $140 million deal.
Yep.
All right. Pittsburgh trying to strike while the iron is hot. Next thing up, get Skeens.
Yep. What is it? What is
now,
it going to take?
Is there a limitation on what they can offer him? Like, if they came out and said, will you sign a 10-year, $380 million deal? Just as an example. Can he say yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So yesterday, Magic Hat, there was one story we didn't get to. And look, this individual needs to be played, I think, throughout America because he went a little viral.
Does this person keep its job?
I think he just got elected. So there's a Harris County judge in Texas named Nathan Milliron, okay? And, he went viral because there was an IT problem in his courtroom, okay? It's just a little county judge.
Yeah.
And Nathan Milliron thinks highly of himself. He's a judge, okay?
He wields the gavel.
Damn it, you better listen to me. I got a gavel in my hand.
Order in my court.
It's absolutely a guy that is the prototypical awful version of a judge, but like if he lost his gavel and he was in a bar fight, he'd cower over in the street and be like, please don't. And Nathan Milliron had an IT problem. A standard IT guy comes to the court, helps him out, tries to make a joke, and suddenly realizes this judge does not joke around.
False alarm?
No, it wasn't a false alarm.
False negative?
Don't joke around. I'm serious about this. It was happening. Again.
I understand. I'm just saying I can't see it, sir.
We're good. Thank you. Get out of my courtroom. Find his supervisor. Jesus.
Sick and tired of this today.
Little IT issues. We deal with IT issues all the time. You don't see me going off on people like that. So people looked into Nathan Milliron, and they found, that wasn't a one-off bad day. Maybe the IT outage really bothered him for the case that he's working on or what have you. No, this is just kind of who he is. Mm-hmm. Listen to him talk to the defense of a case he was listening to.
I mean, Judge, we're the defendants in the case. They're the plaintiffs. We haven't filed either one of these cases. They filed this case
Lien abatement is denied.
Thank you, Your Honor. We filed a proposed order, but I have one here if you want.
I'll take it.
Jeff, you want to briefly respond about...
You may not. Well, this hearing is done.
She's asking for a sanction.
Deputy, remove her from my bench now. No, you may not. This hearing is over. Jesus Christ, these people today. Step away. You're about to be cuffed.
Oh, good Lord.
God, the voice. It's the voice, man.
Yeah, I know.
Step away. You're about to be cuffed. Oh. That's somebody you just want to throw a bar chair at.
Pretty
Shut
much.
up, you nerd. I don't know if I'd be a good judge. I don't think I would be, because there's probably way more into that job that we know. But
yeah,
dear God, would I not treat people
you
like
have
this?
to have a tremendous amount of patience.
I totally get it. And especially a county judge, you probably deal with so many dumb cases. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you treating people like this? An IT guy joking around trying to help you out?
Usually you have to step in and have, let's settle down. And you have to, you set some boundaries.
Sure.
And I'm not going to remind you again after the third or fourth time. You need to do this or you will be held in contempt of court. So, yeah. But, no, I mean, my stepdad did that for... I don't know, 15 years.
There's a bunch of attorneys in Houston have now called him out because he has since gone viral.
This is going to go to the bar ethics committee, and there's going to be issues.
By the way, people are looking
probably a ton of filing, change of venues, and all that sort of stuff.
Dude, he filed bankruptcy last year, and he's listed with $70,000 in debt outside of what he owes on his house and stuff. So people are starting to dig into this guy. The New York Post ran a story on him. And found out that this isn't just a couple one-off videos. This dude that's how he acts every day. Yeah. He just berates people. He treats them like they're less than, that they're irrelevant. He's the judge. You better not dare cross him. He'll put you in handcuffs.
Yeah.
You better be careful making that threat, dude. Some people want to be put in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Better watch out, Milliron.
This is not going to go well.
It hasn't gone well.
Texas.
When you get people digging into your history and writing about you filing bankruptcy, not going well.
No.
Obnoxious as hell. The sound of the voice is what gets me the most, I think. Prototypical looking white guy, right? combed hair, gelled out, wearing glasses, and then just people not giving him any kind of attitude. And he just steps in. Get away. It's my courtroom. I can't stand it. Drives me nuts. I'm glad the internet's dragging it. The internet doesn't always do a lot of good, but in these instances...
Yeah. Does he not realize there's public live cameras in the courtroom? He obviously doesn't care.
I think he tends to not care. I think the fact that he thinks, I'm the 215th district court judge.
Yeah.
I have power. When you're talking about wielding your gavel around and threatening to handcuff people, you've lost the plot.
Pretty much.
I'm not saying people don't deserve that once in a while.
No, I mean, sometimes people are in the court and unruly and aren't following directions. And yes, you have no option at that point left but to put them in contempt and suspend whatever's going on. And
they say that
let everybody go cool off.
He's bad in person, but the worst is when he's actually being in email responding.
Oh, man.
So I guess attorneys had filed something or emailed him and said, we're going to file something against you. You're not behaving properly. And he basically was like, piss off. I'm a judge. I do whatever I want. So one of those individuals where the power has clearly corrupted his mind and his ego. And I wanted to highlight it because he went pretty viral.
Yeah.
And it's the last thing we need is more douchebags.
This is one we'll have to
power.
follow up on. Like, this is one obviously you can't just go willy-nilly firing judges anywhere. There's a process.
I do feel like it should be easier to fire judges. When you get to positions of power, it should be way easier to strip them of power if they're acting like this. Do you not agree?
But the flip side is you don't want judges to be influenced by outside people who say, I'm going to fire you unless you give a ruling on something. Like if you have people further up above.
Then you note that. Also, you don't think judges are corrupt?
Well, I'm saying.
In this country?
But if that concentration of the ability for a person or a body to simply remove judges they don't like, it's why Supreme Court justices have lifetime appointments.
Yeah, we need to change that. But we'll see what happens here, man. I don't know if much is going to come out of this, but
there's a process.
He's being dragged a little bit publicly,
you still
which is
have
good.
There's probably an ethics committee or something that you can raise formal complaints to, and it goes through, and there's due process, and this, that, and the other thing. He'll have a chance to go try to defend himself if there's actually allegations levied.
Bring back like slightly expired vegetable throwing. You know what I mean? Get him up there.
And you want us to all show up in togas and it's the Roman Forum?
No, but like a tomato that'll break the minute it contacts a shoulder or something, like is splattering a little bit.
Yeah.
Got to have some, like maybe the internet is basically
assaulting a judge is going to go over well.
Is it now he's got tomato.
Now he's
got
a
reason
reason
to
to
pasta sauce on your shoulder. Calm down. He's already been dragged to the mud, though.
Get thrown in the gulag for that.
Well, he deserved to go viral with that kind of behavior. I'll tell you that much. We'll Sprague the line. Coming up next, you could send your Sprague line sponsors in at 503-864-6326. Are Swag and I going to be in lockstep agreement of every single Final Four game we have between the men and the women? Do you think we will?
I don't know.
I think we will be. And we'll give you some of those picks. Sprague line sponsors are welcome at the Fan Text line. We're back with more, but first, here's us with an update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, big soccer weekend for the both of the Portland teams. The Thorns are on the road, 3-0-1 to start the season for the Thorns.
Getting thorny, baby. Who's home of the Portland Thorns?
Huh?
Who's the home of the Portland Thorns?
Yeah. You can hear them in
Where?
the market.
Oh, in the market?
In the market.
Okay.
They are on the road at the North Carolina Courage, Cary, North Carolina. They got a 3:30 tilt.
North Carolina Courage.
Yeah.
That's the name?
That's their name. The Courage. Looking to stay undefeated.
The Courage?
Yeah. You've got the Kansas City Current, the Denver Summit is the expansion
these make
team.
sense. The Courage?
The Seattle Reign.
Yeah, these make sense.
The Courage.
That's awful. Who okayed that name?
The NWSL.
I guess.
So, yeah, Thorns, that'll be at 3:30. And then the Timbers are up at BC Place. That'll be right here on the Fan on Saturday. They are taking on Vancouver. Many believe the Whitecaps, best team in the Western Conference, maybe the entire MLS.
A sad note to pass along from our good friends at the Oregon Zoo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, R.I.P. Zawadi. The African lion, the male African lion. He passed away yesterday. He lived from 2007 to 2026. 18 years old, elder statesman of the African lion pride, and one of the oldest male lions in North America. Very majestic looking whenever he was sitting upright on the rock. Yeah. And you just see the mane flowing in. Last time I was at the zoo, coincidentally, he was up and walking around, and I could not believe how insanely huge he was. R.I.P. to a goat, Zawadi.
All right, there you go. More soccer and Lion stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time.
Sprague in the line. Sprague in the... You're supposed to be here with... Are you not here with me? What is happening?
Sorry.
You eating again?
No, Boss Man is talking shop.
Yeah, well, I talk shop. Not good.
Well, you want to do Sprague in the line, but you don't want to do Sprague in the line. It's not really Sprague in the line. I never know what you do in the off season. I know in football season,
you know I'm a degenerate.
It's Sprague in the line.
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't want to do it, but we got Final Four games.
We do. We have Final Four. We have lines for both the men and women from our friends at A.
Super excited, by the way. Expansion draft. We're going to have Fire players today.
12:30 today.
I saw Arike Ogunbowale.
Yes.
Is maybe the number one player in the expansion draft. We're picking before Toronto, right?
Yes. So there was a coin flip last week sometime.
We won a coin flip in the draft?
No, we lost the coin flip.
Damn it.
And Toronto got to decide, do they want the higher? So there was two things. You could either pick first in the expansion draft, or you can take the better draft pick in the college draft coming up on Monday the 13th. Toronto wanted the number 6 pick in the college draft.
Okay.
So Portland got the 7th pick. Now, I believe there's also a deal in play with the Sky that Portland's agreed not to take one of their players in the expansion draft, in exchange for which they move up to the 5th pick.
Hey, you've lost
Don't
me.
quote me on that, but I think that deal is in play.
I'll be honest
I've
with
seen it reported.
Yeah, I lost you.
There's a whole lot of horse trading going on today starting at 12:30.
You lost me. You got past the third sentence of that, and I was like hearing
Pay
different
attention, Sprague. Talking about me paying attention.
I'm not shoving a granola bar in my mouth in the mid-segment.
You were playing clips. I'm hungry.
You saw how long the clip was. You started eating when there was 3 seconds left.
Hey, 3 seconds. Plenty of time to win a Final Four game.
9 inches of dark chocolate, 3 seconds. Go, swag, eat it. By the way, somebody says they're a state employee who works with judges on a daily basis, dealt with similar attitudes. Get over yourselves, judges. Congratulations, you're a judge. Good job. Can we treat people with respect?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? And somebody says, if that's Jeffrey, is that Joffrey Lannister from Game of Thrones? He's the dude I'd want to slap the most in public. To which I would say, it's actually a sad story about that. So that kid was so good at that role. Joffrey. You didn't watch Game of Thrones, right?
No.
Okay, so Joffrey is the love child of a brother and sister relationship, but they're royal, and so he becomes the new king. And he's the definition of a spoiled brat.
Okay.
And he's just awful. He's a king, and he's like 15 years old or whatever he is.
Gotcha.
And he's like, oh, I'm the king. Just the worst pot. That kid played it so well that people legitimately in his real life.
Oh, they think he's like that.
They hated him.
Yeah.
And they treated him like crap, and they berated him in person.
Like, I'm an actor.
He's
that
a
was
theater
a
kid.
role.
Yes, and it's ruined other roles for him.
Oh.
So it's actually kind of a sad story.
It's tough. It's very tough if an actor does something so well, but they get typecast, and it's hard to break out of that sometimes, especially if it's something early in their careers.
Yeah, well, I mean, but to treat somebody that's playing in a role, I think you can appreciate an actor or actress who play a role of a character you hate and say, dude, you did a great job. I really hated that guy.
But, yeah.
I don't remember the woman's name, but my wife turned me on to the Harry Potter movies years ago when we started dating, and I've seen him now a million times. There's a professor that's from, like, the government of the witches that comes, and she is the worst. That old bag is the worst, and she's so good at it. I have wished harm on that person too many times to count. But also, if I met her in person, I'd say, you were good. I hated you.
Yeah.
Good job. Sprague Line, let's read a couple sponsors here. Okay. Sprague Line, brought to you by the Jeez.
You all right there?
No, I think a week of talking by myself.
I know. It
rearing its ugly head there.
The froggy's showing up.
I had to swallow. Sprague Line, brought to you by Old Reliable. Sprague ordering 2 medium pizzas. Okay. You know what? You say something one time.
You're never shaking that one.
And you never shake it
off. Talk
about
getting typecast.
I mean, they tend to have really good deals for 2 medium pizzas. If it's you and your wife, I mean, do you need more than 2 medium pizzas?
No.
No, you don't. Now, family of 4, 2 medium pizzas, I probably deserve that. Sprague Line brought to you by the people who greenlit the name North Carolina Courage. Probably the same group that okayed other bad names.
I don't know.
I can't believe that's their soccer team name.
Yeah.
Everybody else has a cool name. Ours is probably the best.
Yeah, Thorns is fantastic.
They leaned into what Portland is known for. Yeah. It's the Roses. We're the Thorns. Yeah. Like, they've got one of the best players in the league on the team.
Yep.
How do you come up with the North Carolina Courage?
I don't know.
Somebody should have the courage to stop that from happening. Spring and Line brought to you by Golfing with Jesus. Unlike Sprague, it's probably a lot safer to bet on than his picks.
True.
Shout out the homie, my golf husband,
nice.
Jesus.
Did you get a tee time yet?
I haven't known. I got to text him, so I have no idea. Let's start with the women's games. We'll come back to some Spring and Line
I got
sponsors.
it right up here.
I got it too. You want to give it out?
UConn 7.5-point favorites over South Carolina. That's first up, 4 o'clock today.
Now, are you looking at, where are you looking?
A-Lin A.
A-Lin A, okay.
Where you can actually drive and go lay down your hard-earned money up there at Tom's Watch Bar.
Professor Umbridge. Thank you, Text Police.
Okay.
God, I hate that woman.
Okay.
Oh, I've never wanted to, I hated that person. She was so good at that role. Who's the character you've hated the most in a show or movie?
Ooh.
Just the person that does such an exceptional job being awful.
Annoying the crap out of you.
Yeah. It's the outfit, it's her face, it's her tone, it's everything. It's a perfect combination of just,
Oh, that's tough.
It's not. You should have this. This should be easy for you.
I don't think so.
Really? Okay. I thought it would be.
No.
All right, so it's 7.5 UConn and South Carolina.
And Texas is a 1.5-point favorite over UCLA.
You're going to have to help me with this. I know Betts is a wagon. It's the end of a run at UCLA. Corey Close is one of the best basketball coaches, not women, basketball coaches,
and if you didn't catch her...
this might be it.
Well, if you didn't catch her press conference yesterday, she basically blamed herself last time when they got there, and she said she was too worried about the transfer portal and what was coming next, and she did not give the team that was there to celebrate them enough and give them everything. So look out for UCLA to be ultra-focused and maybe have a little wrinkle. I just don't know how you slow down Madison Booker at this
I don't
point.
know how you slow down Texas. Vic Schaefer has such a...
Yeah.
They might be the pick to win the whole thing. We'll see where we are with that, but I'm taking Texas, and I don't understand this point spread. I'll give Corey Close, I guess, the benefit of prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I've seen UCLA play a little bit this year. They've been really good the last few years. Corey Close, again, one of the best coaches. I think Texas is a
unless Lauren Betts gets their front line into big foul trouble early on.
Yeah. I'm taking Texas
has
minus the 1.5.
Too many offensive weapons.
And 7.5. I'm seeing 6.5 on some other books. I might take South Carolina.
UConn's a wagon.
Texas beat South Carolina by 30 in the SEC title game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might take. Yeah, I'm taking UConn. Yeah. I'll take UConn. Dawn Staley, another Final Four for Dawn Staley. What else can you say?
Not her most dominant team.
Not her most dominant team, and she still ends up in the Final Four.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this UConn team.
This UConn team is
pretty loaded.
Loaded.
Really experienced team. So I'm going to take UConn.
UConn, Texas will be fun.
UConn, Texas in the national
Sunday
championship.
evening.
Yes. And I have to wait to see on that spread if I was to bet it. I lean Texas.
UConn probably 3.5, 4, somewhere in there.
I would lean Texas. By the way, as somebody says, every single character in Secession. You know what's weird about that show? I loved that show. I agree, and also I found myself rooting for every character that I ended up hating at different points. You hate them, you like them. You hate them again, then you end up rooting for them again. And then the show ends in a way that it should have ended, but it kind of pisses you off, but also you're not surprised that it ended the way that it ended. Did you ever watch Secession?
No.
Oh, man. Boy, you're really missing out on that one. That's a great show. I miss it, actually. But, yeah, that's a good one. Skyler from Breaking Bad, very unlikable. Also put in a tough position there. What do you do with Walt? He's got cancer. He's got the chemo, but now he's a drug dealer. He's not informing you of what's going on. He's leaving you out in the dark as a partner. But now you're running a car wash because you got to launder the money somehow. I don't know what you do there. I get it. I know why you don't like her, but I also kind of sympathize with her. On the men's side, where are we going?
I will take Illinois minus 1.5 against UConn.
Okay. I'm going to go, I'm going Illinois.
I will take Arizona plus 1.5 against Michigan.
I thought you were with me on Michigan.
No.
You have Arizona winning it?
I had Arizona in the national championship game.
Oh. Who do you have them playing?
Duke.
Oh, pretty close. Devastating. I'm going to go Michigan. It's a 1.5 point spread in that
It's
one?
only 1.5, so, it's not like shocking development. I think Illinois if they can get a little bit of a lead on UConn, Illinois has a way of taking a 5-point lead and making it 15.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what happened. It's not like when Michigan does it and they come out and they press and they turn you over and they crank it up and the place is going nuts. Illinois will get to the foul line. They'll hit a couple of corner threes. They'll get an offensive rebound, stick back. They'll get a key block shot, and all of a sudden you're down 17. You're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on Illinois, but the Michigan one, God, I cannot wait to see that game. I mean,
it's going to be wild.
Illinois, UConn,
both teams can go on mega runs.
Yeah. Sprague Line brought to you by high school kids getting the swag treatment. Still a safer bet than a Sprague pick.
Some high school kid's going to get the full swag treatment tonight.
I cannot believe that was said. And I cannot wait to play that for Dirt on Tuesday when there's a moment of silence between after. It's got to be after he gives his take.
Yeah.
He's going to give a take on whatever the hell we talk about, probably the title game. He'll give a take. He'll tell me why Tommy Lloyd going to UNC is dumb or whatever the take is. And then you cannot respond. I will not respond. It will be dead quiet. He'll look at me like I'm having a stroke, and
some high school kid's going to get the full swag treatment tonight.
He's going to go, I came back from Hawaii to this? Really? All right. I do appreciate people texting in the characters in TV shows or movies that they hate. I mean, it's a good one.
Yeah.
How can we not relate to this? All right. I'll read a couple of those on the other side, but there's some Sprague line for you. We don't do it every Friday. We got a Final Four, though. I just thought, women's Final Four, men's Final Four. Let's dive into it a little bit.
The fact that 3 of the 4 games are one basket point spreads should get everybody excited.
Yeah, I think it does. So we'll wrap it up. Coming up next, Dirt and Sprague on 105.1, The Fan.
AM.
All right, there you go. YouTube Jeopardy's very own Rebecca Black playing in the ones and twos, getting you ready for the weekend. We got a tighten. We got a loose nut.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what to do about this nut.
Got to tighten those nuts up.
Yeah, I don't like loose nuts. You got to tighten this bad boy. My microphone is like, it feels like it's falling off. Might want to tell somebody about this. I'm sorry.
Squeeze them damn things. Make sure you got 2.
There's only one nut. There's not 2. I wish there were 2. If there were 2.
Armstrong?
Yes, there is a Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
It's legitimately might fall off during the firm. But the firm is coming up, and then we've got the Duck Insider happy hour, and then we've got a short...
No Duck Insider today.
Oh.
They have early baseball out in Michigan.
Is it snowing?
Raining and thunderstorms late in the afternoon, so they moved up. It's a
so it's 2-hour happy hour.
2-hour happy hour.
There you
today.
go.
Yeah, Ducks got to respond. They lost 10-0 yesterday to the Wolverines.
Luke's so nice, you get him twice.
Yes.
So we'll have a 2-hour Luke Anderson happy hour, and then a 1-hour primetime.
I don't know how long they're going.
Right, they might not go.
I don't know what's going.
Patrick told me they're doing best stuff, and I was like, I thought they were going an hour. So
I don't know.
Stay tuned for that. We got an Odyssey party. What do you want from us? We got a party today. I will throw one out there.
Hopefully we'll have some good stories.
One of our P1s, Aiden, is texting in some names.
Okay.
Cersei Lannister. Very good name. Another, yeah. There's no point in telling you any of these names. We don't watch TV.
No.
You don't watch movies. I don't know what you watch. Cersei Lannister's a good one, and it's very disgusting what she does in the beginning of that show.
What show is that from?
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Her and her brother get it on. They are in love. They are soulmates, and they're twins.
Okay.
It's very odd. Anyways, I would argue, though, in a weird way, she has a little bit of a comeback story when she's being tortured by one of the nuns.
Okay.
At the back end of the show, she gets kind of tortured.
Yeah.
For religious reasons, and then she eventually gets out of that and gets payback on those people. So
okay.
I hear why but also I found myself kind of weirdly going, yes, get your payback. It's a weird dynamic when you hate a character and you come back and root for the character and then you end up hating the character again. It's been a busy week. There's been a lot to talk about. We had the Dundinator on yesterday, this press conference.
Blazers are done defeated.
They're done defeated under him. Young Hansen is going to be here for 10 years. He's going to get the Supermax. And team is going nowhere because Sheil Tile is a part of the group, and he lives in Portland. My big takeaway from the press conference, if you missed it in the 7 a.m. hour, I think they're making a big move. And I think it's abundantly clear listening to Tom Dundon yesterday that this is not good enough. They need to be better, and they need to be better quick. So might be Charlie Browning myself with that take, but I think that ultimately the Blazers will be making a massive move this summer to upgrade the roster. Looking forward to the Final Four this weekend.
Yep.
I know a lot of people looking forward to the holiday, if you observe such holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really personally observe it. I did a lot growing up, but teach their own. Everybody should have the right to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
And I will be looking for a tea time on Sunday. Father, forgive me.
There you go.
But I will be golfing with the Jesus.
I got one Saturday morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good weekend. Good weather. Looks like
Excellent
it's good weather today. Good weather tomorrow. It's supposed to be super hot on Sunday. 76
Sunday and Monday.
Saturday. Monday's supposed to be nice too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Monday we'll be coming in, and we will have the reaction to the Final Four. I do believe when we come in Monday, we're going to have an Illinois-Michigan championship game to talk about.
Okay.
And you think it's going to be Illinois-Arizona.
I do.
I think we could come in Monday and find out Tommy Lloyd is the next coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay.
That's
will
my
we
other take.
Will UConn have won another women's championship?
Good question, because it's Sunday, the title game.
Yeah.
No, I think Texas is going to do it.
Oh, there you go.
I think Vic Schaefer and Madison Booker are going to put an ending to a great season. And I think Texas is going to win the national championship in the women's game. Got an expansion draft later on. That's around 12:30.
12:30.
So
it will be on ESPN.
You'll have an ESPN option. You can at least see some players that'll be on the fire.
So there'll be
Excited
names
about what
on a
the Fire are
roster.
gonna
They
do.
can take up to 12. So the teams put in their each team got to protect 5. And then everybody else, including unrestricted free agents. So the teams can claim in the expansion draft one unrestricted free agent that they'll be allowed to talk to and try to negotiate a deal with.
There you go. And I'm super excited to eat a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup egg shape, the goated Easter candy.
Yeah. Now, We debate. I'm not one for peanut butter in my candy. It's
a bad take, but that's fine.
Okay. But the worst, it's not. Jelly beans are awful.
The worst?
They're the worst.
Hold on, I got to think about that. I really think the milk chocolate hollow rabbit that looks like it'd be the best as a kid.
At least you're getting some chocolate.
But
it might not be great chocolate. Depends on where you get your.
You can only do so much
from.
chocolate, though. You're not eating all 10 inches. That's just not happening. And you're going to leave it in the wrapper, and then 2 days later, it's gross. Jelly beans, I can at least find my flavors.
No.
You think every jelly bean's awful?
I think the waxy.
Oh, so you don't like Mike and Ike's?
No.
Oh, okay. Just in general, all of those.
No.
See, I think there's good flavor of jelly beans. I don't dive in a lot, but
See, I remember the whole Jelly Belly craze growing up.
I'll give you a little bit of
those damn stores.
A soy boy one. Give me some Jordan almonds.
Jordan almonds are delightful.
So good.
Load those up.
And we will agree on the Whopper-shaped
Whopper-shaped eggs with the candy coating.
Those are great.
Those are great. I'll eat those all day.
Enjoy the weather, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Fridays. Thanks for hanging with us this week. Dirt will be back next week, Tuesday. See what the Final Four gives us, and we'll talk about that on Monday. You got the Firm coming up next, extended happy hour, and then a version of Primetime all around the corner. We'll talk to you guys bright and early Monday morning. Thanks for hanging with us. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And we'll talk to you 6 to 10 a.m. Monday on Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan.